Yo, what's good, YouTube? Welcome back to another episode of the Shooter Straight Podcast. It's your co-host, Zach.
I'm your co-host, Blue.
I'm G.
And welcome back to episode 21. First and foremost, man, we just want to appreciate y'all and thank y'all for all the support we've been getting on all the episodes and all the social media platforms.
We definitely appreciate all the support. And to follow us on those social media platforms, check out the description below.
And while y'all are down there in the description below, hit that big red subscribe button because we are on the road to 300 subscribers. And right now we're at 243. And we got a lot of great content coming soon. Maybe some interviews and all kinds of special stuff coming soon. Y'all are not going to want to miss. So hit that subscribe button if y'all haven't already. 50% of y'all watching this, according to the YouTube analytics, are not subscribed. So just hit that subscribe button and help us out. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and we appreciate all the comments, and we can't wait to engage with all of you. And I think we're ready to shoot it straight into it.
Hey, y'all ready?
Yeah, no more cutting it. Let's get right into it.
Let's go.
First and foremost, we had a crazy game. Well, you wanted to take it?
Yeah, sure, man. We had a crazy game. We got the Dolphins and the Bengals, man. It was insane, man, with Tua getting injured, bro.
Thursday night football.
Exactly.
What do y'all got to say about Tua's injury, man?
What do you guys say, Zach? I think Zach being the Dolphins fan here, this is going to hit him hard the most, so I want to hear what he says.
You know, I've loved Tua and supported him since the very beginning. I remember being a part of the Tank for Tua Brigade. You know, I was there. I was saying, Tank, you know, we just needed to throw away our whole season just to get this guy. I believe in him. And obviously, you know, it was disheartening to see what we saw on Thursday. Literally, you know, none of us wants to see that. And, you know, I think, obviously, the team messed up. You know, quite frankly, the medical staff was in the wrong. You know, even though, you know, they were trying to say it was a back injury, you know, it wasn't exactly his head against the Buffalo Bills. We all saw him wobbling and woozy. He didn't look fit to be playing a football game, especially on a short week's rest. And, you know, I think it's just one of those things the medical staff messed up. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, I don't blame Tua for wanting to go out there and play in that game. You know, it's a big primetime game. The media has been getting on this guy all off season, talking about can he be the one to lead this team, and he gets him going on a 3-0 start, and then, you know, the injury kind of happens against Buffalo, but he feels like he's good to go. Of course he's going to want to go out there and play, but the medical staff should have said, look, we're going to protect you from yourself, and we're going to say, nah, we're just going to save you for the next week. New York Jets, we're just going to save him. I think that's what they should have done.
It's one of those things where, yeah, the medical staff is there to protect these athletes from themselves.
Exactly.
To get to a high level like this, dude, there has to be there's that killer mindset to where, you know, you play through injuries, especially it's the most notorious thing with football. Like things you learn in high school, dude. It's like freaking coach in high school, so my head kind of hurts. Don't matter. Play through it. You play through pain.
Exactly.
That's what these guys have built their entire lives through. So it's the medical staff's job to stop them from doing that. But it plays a lot into that, like, the Dolphins are the hottest shit in NFL right now. Everybody's like, the Dolphins, and like, bro, we need our quarterback. We want him to play.
Exactly.
You know, the medical staff are like, bro, they just checked him, like, you're good to go. And like, bro, they just eyeballed him. It's like, bro, it's like, what's the color of an orange? And then he said, you're good to go.
Yeah.
Like, they
I was going to say, it was amazing to see that over 1,000 Bills fans donated to his foundation, man. It's great for his charity.
It's great, but dude, it's like
the situation shouldn't have
gone
of course.
to that.
Exactly.
Like, you have medical staff for that. That's why. What was it? They just came out right now.
Exactly. They NFL and the NFL Players Association just came out and they fired the independent doctor, you know, who was the one leading that concussion protocol.
Yeah, for like quote unquote many mistakes.
Exactly. They literally said he made mistakes and they shouldn't have let him play. You know what I'm saying? And obviously that was the right move from the NFL. They had to do that. That doctor, you know, if he did literally know that Tua, you know, had a head injury and he shouldn't have been playing and he let him play, you know, whatever Tua did and whatever he told him convinced him, I don't know. But obviously the NFL has made the right move getting rid of this doctor. They had to do it. And let's be real, I think it's a good decision because you don't want any other players in the future to be affected by this.
Facts.
And they've already came out and they're saying that they have new policies coming out in the very near future. They're working on it, the NFL Players Association and the NFL. We just saw the breaking news talking about there's going to be some policy changes coming up probably within the next week. So we'll probably be sure to talk about that on the next podcast. But, you know, obviously everyone is making it out to be about this injury, blah, blah, blah. But, you know, a football game did still happen on the field regardless of that. And obviously not to take away from the injury because, you know, I love Tua and I hope that he's okay because I not only want him to be able to lead my team, but I just want him to be,
Yeah,
a healthy individual, a healthy human being.
We want to see the best teams play the best teams.
Exactly.
At full strength. We don't.
Yeah.
It's not fun to watch.
So moving our shift of, more from away from Tua and onto the game itself, what were your takeaways from the game?
I think, it's going to look like the Dolphins are definitely not going to have Tua for maybe, for max, they're not going to have him for 2 games.
Probably,
like we're saying,
something
maybe
like
3
that.
to 4 games. And, I think they put it back in Teddy Bridgewater.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't have a bad game.
It wasn't bad.
To be fair, he's doing what your backup needs to do, steady the ship. He went in there 14 for 23 completions, had a touchdown, he had 1 interception,
Which,
but,
I don't know. To me, that he dropped that. I saw the clip.
The Dolphins' defense folded, man.
They've been pretty good. They haven't been bad.
Yeah, but they just let the Bengals score too many points.
When you're going against Joe Burrow did not play bad. I mean, for him having a QBR of 52, but he still threw for 287 with 20 for 31 for completion. It's not bad, but he played fairly well. And Higgins played well.
He managed the game well.
Yeah.
And I remember whether it was Tyreek Hill or Jaden Waddle said this, as soon as Tua got injured,
No, yeah, it's a gut punch.
It's a gut punch. It sucked the life
out of the team.
Yeah,
so
there's no way.
And Tyreek Hill said in his post-game interview, and he obviously was one of the ones I would say who didn't get too affected by it, and he obviously still had 10 receptions for 160 yards.
I think he went for a buck
60. Exactly. So the injury didn't necessarily affect his performance too much, but he was saying how himself included and all the other Dolphins players were literally going up to the coach on the sideline asking for updates on Tua, more so than maybe focusing on the game. So, and I respect that. Obviously they love Tua. That's the leader of this football team, and that's one of my biggest takeaways from this game. It is so apparent that Tua is the leader and heart and soul of this team,
which no one thought he would be.
Exactly. Yeah. There was a lot of doubts coming into this season. Can Tua lead this star-studded team led by they got Jalen Waddle, they got Tyreek Hill. They got superstars on this team. Can Tua be the guy to lead this team? And it's clear as day now. This team is built around Tua. They love Tua. This is the guy. And look, Teddy Bridgewater had a good game, but this team isn't going to be. Yeah, no. This team is not going to be what we expect them to be if Tua is out for a longer period of time.
But of course. I think even if he's out for 5 games, I think that the Dolphins will still be looking good. I mean, they play the Jets, who are not a top 20 defense. No. They play the Vikings, not a top 20 defense. They play the Steelers. They're ranked 16.
TJ Watt being out plays into that.
They're middle of the pack, and then they play the Lions. So that's about 5 games right there that you for even he might not even be gone for 5 games. But I still like the Dolphins in all those matchups, even with Teddy Bridgewater.
Yeah, and that's one thing that I would say my biggest takeaway from the game, besides Tua and all that. Look, I came away from this game happy with the Dolphins. I think, all the adversity they faced. There was a little hurricane that hit Florida this week. They had to deal with that. They're playing on a short week because they play on Sunday. Boom, got to come back, quick turnaround, fly to Cincinnati, play the Bengals. Tua gets injured against Buffalo, comes back. And literally before the game, their walkthrough, their plays that they were using in this game were leaked. Literally, there was a guy recording their plays and posting them all on Twitter.
Yep.
Bill Belichick.
So, literally, it was a Spygate 2.0. The Dolphins faced all of this adversity, yet when the fourth quarter came, the Dolphins had a 1-point lead in this game, 15-14, and you're saying this is a toss-up. Who's going to pull away? And ultimately, we saw the Cincinnati Bengals, led by Joe Burrow, show a little bit of that championship experience that he has from last season and pull away like a good team should. At home, the Bengals had to win this game, especially given everything that happened. They had to win this game. But I come away with this, honestly, with a little bit more question marks about the Bengals than I do about the Dolphins. Even though they were the ones who lost the game.
Yeah, especially with we know the Dolphins are about to play a couple not very good teams, and I think they're gonna be just fine with with given Tua the amount of time because with head injuries, but. You don't know how long he's going to be out for.
Exactly.
And it's he could come back and who knows, he gets dinged again. It's one of those things that, it's not like I hurt my hand. But when your hand's going to be right. With your brain, dude, you just don't know.
Yeah, and I think it's one of the things the Dolphins, especially with all of the media attention this is getting, they're going to aid on the side of caution.
Yeah.
And honestly, they're going to give Tua even more time than he probably technically needs to recover. Even if they say, look, he's going to definitely be out for 2 weeks, the Dolphins are going to rest him for 3. They're going to give him the extra benefit of the doubt. And I know that they trust Teddy Bridgewater and Coach McDaniel. You know, he's going to be able to put together a game plan that's going to get the best out of Teddy Bridgewater. You know, even though he might not be the same quarterback we all know and love, you know, back in the day with the Minnesota Vikings.
He's
not the guy.
He can still, obviously with the statistics you showed, he can still lead this offense.
Yeah.
He can manage the game.
He's not going against a top 5 defense. We're not going to have to worry about, you know, him running through a gauntlet.
I remember that crazy pass downfield.
No, yeah, the one he threw to Tyreek.
He threw a dime to Tyreek. You know, he saw the arm strength. We saw he doesn't quite have the mobility he used to. I mean, but we saw a little bit. We saw a nice little spin move. We saw some things, you know.
He's not Patrick Mahomes.
Of course
but, you know,
not.
He's a backup. He's doing what he has to do, steady the ship. That's what you have to do. That's what you get paid for.
In terms of backups across the league, you know, Teddy Bridgewater, like he's probably one of the best. You know, probably backup in the league, maybe. You know, obviously Cooper Rush was a backup. I'm not even counting that.
Yeah.
That's neither here nor there. That's not the point I'm trying to make. I'm just saying Teddy Bridgewater, especially given the schedule that the Miami Dolphins have.
Yeah, they should
be fine.
I don't think their season's done, basically.
And for any Dolphins fan worried or whatever, I mean, look, I'm a Dolphins fan. If you told me at the start of the season, look, here's a contract. The Dolphins will be 3-1 come week 4. I'm signing that all day. I'm signing that all day. We played the Baltimore Ravens, we played the Buffalo Bills, and we played the Patriots in Foxborough. You know what I'm saying? That look, it's not easy. Not an easy schedule. I'm taking 3-1. But with the Bengals, look, I think there was some positives in this game. You know, Joe Burrow only sacked 1 time. You know, every other game we saw it against the Cowboys. You know, they were able to lose. They lost that game. They got to him like crazy. So it looks as if maybe they were able to solidify the offensive line somewhat. However, they're going to need to get that rushing game going. Joe Mixon, I would say one of not the best, but he's one of the best.
Great.
He's a good player. Look, 24 carries, 61 yards for 2.5 yards a carry. That ain't getting it done.
No.
Joe Burrow needs a little bit more help, but we saw, you know, Jamar Chase and him are starting to get that same rapport we saw last season, and T. Higgins, obviously, he had a great game.
Yeah.
And, you know, so that's my big takeaways with the Bengals, I would say. You know, they gotta improve this offensive line still and get that rushing game going.
Yeah, I think they're still slowly starting to get worked out. They had a very poor start, but now they're starting to pick it up.
Exactly.
Yeah, starting to pick it up.
And even though everything that happened in this game happened, they can build on this game and they can take the momentum and move forward. You know, now they're going to have a long rest and they can get ready for week 5.
Yeah.
Yep. So y'all ready to get in our week 4 picks?
You know it.
Yeah, I'm ready.
Let's get it.
What we got?
So, you know, like always, we got the pick'em style format, and this is our 4th week running doing it. And, you know, we love doing them. So here we go. NFL Week 4 pick'em. Let's go. Vikings versus Saints. I'm taking the Vikings.
I got the Vikings.
I got the Vikings.
Seahawks versus Lions. Taking the Lions.
I got the Lions.
Seahawks.
Jets versus Steelers. Taking the Jets.
The Jets.
I'm taking my boy Elijah with the Jets.
Bears versus Giants. Taking the Bears.
I got the Giants.
I got the Bears.
Titans versus Colts. Got the Titans.
Colts.
I got the Colts.
Colts?
Colts, yeah.
Colts.
Yeah. Chargers versus Texans. I got the Chargers.
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 Browns versus Falcons. I got the Browns.
I got the Browns.
Got the Browns.
Commanders versus Cowboys. I got the Cowboys.
You got to have the Cowboys.
It's the Cowboys, dude.
Jags versus Eagles. This is going to be a good one. I got the Eagles in a close one.
I got the Jags.
I got the Eagles.
Bills versus Ravens. I'm taking the Baltimore Ravens.
Oh my God.
I got the Bills.
I got the Bills, man.
Cardinals versus Panthers. I got the Cardinals.
Cardinals all day.
Cardinals.
Broncos versus Raiders. I'm taking the Raiders.
I'm taking the Raiders.
I'm taking the Raiders.
Patriots versus Packers. Taking the Packers.
Packers.
The Packers.
Chiefs versus Bucks. I'm taking the Kansas City Chiefs.
I'm taking the Chiefs as well.
Give me the Bucks.
Rams versus 49ers, Monday Night Football. I'm taking the Rams.
The Rams for sure.
Taking the Niners.
Damn.
Yeah.
And we got some good picks in there.
All right.
Yeah. We didn't agree on everything.
No.
No, absolutely not.
So I would say the first maybe game we should probably hit on is Jags versus Eagles.
Yeah.
So what? Okay. So what? Did you guys both pick the Jags? Or who? Well,
I picked the Jags.
Okay. So why do you think the Jags are gonna win?
They've just been performing well this year, man. Trevor Lawrence.
You trust Trevor Lawrence over?
I definitely do. And with the Eagles' injuries, man, they're out a couple people. I just don't think they'll be able to get it done.
Yeah, I mean, I think the Eagles are just on
A
such
well-oiled machine right now.
Well-oiled machine right now. They're on a really hot start.
Yeah,
The only undefeated team left.
Of course.
Yeah.
And Jalen Hurts? I'm having a brain fart. I almost forgot his name for a second. But he's having like an MVP caliber season.
Yeah.
He's playing really well. So I think I'm gonna take him. In a close game.
No, I think it's going to be a very, very close game. I think, look, the Jags, led by Doug Peterson, the former Philadelphia Eagles coach, led them to the Super Bowl. I think this guy knows, kind of how the Eagles are going to maybe come at him. And I think he might be able to prepare maybe better than any other coach in the league, for a Jalen Hurts-led offensive attack. However, I just think it's a tough task for any defense to stop Jalen Hurts right now. Look, rushing the ball, he's been unreal this season. We know what he can do there. And then throwing the ball, he's impressed me. I think the biggest question marks were, how is his arm going to be? And so far, it's been perfect. And he literally just won Player of the Month, for the NFC this month. He's literally at 916 yards. He's averaging 9.4 yards per attempt. He's looking effective running and throwing. I mean, look, the Eagles just look like a well-oiled machine. They're adding A.J. Brown. It's playing a huge role. But it's also the defense. Darius Slay looking very, very good.
Darius Slay, yeah.
It's just, I feel like this game comes down to which defense is going to perform better, because I think the Jags offense, it's looking really, really good.
It's popping.
And although they do have an injury to Zay Jones, who's their deep play threat, I think, look, they still got Christian Kirk and they still got Travis Etienne. They still got some other guys that they're going to get the ball to. It's going to be what defense performs better, and I just have a little bit more faith in the Eagles at home at this very moment. But I think it's going to be super close, maybe a field goal type of game.
That's why with the Eagles injuries, I was preferring the Jags, but we're going to have to see.
Exactly. But you've been a big Jags believer from the very beginning, and I'd like to give him credit for this. Like,
he said it.
He said it from the very beginning.
Trevor Lawrence
is going to have a good year. Look, Doug Peterson has probably played a big role in that and helping his development. But you've always been a big Jags believer, so I got to give you that.
Yeah, thank you, bro.
It's fair. It's fair. What was the next one that we kind of disagreed on? I think. Let's see.
Well, I know
Bills Ravens.
Bills Ravens.
So wait, did you both pick the Ravens?
No, I'm picking the Ravens.
You picked the Ravens.
And I picked the Bills.
Okay, so with that going, so why would you pick the Ravens?
I mean, look, at home, that's also obviously that plays some role of it, but not too much. Look, Lamar Jackson, I would say arguably the MVP so far.
I mean, it's an MVP show off.
It is. It probably could be an MVP potential battle. Look, I think Devin Duvernay is having a great season so far. Lamar Jackson looking more and more effective throwing the ball, and I just question the Bills' secondary still. Look, we saw it against the Dolphins. They were exploited in some moments, even though the Dolphins didn't have that many plays against the Bills. Last week we still saw Tua be able to. Tua with basically no head, I guess, be able to still drop some dimes in there in the second half and exploit this injured secondary. And if Tua is able to do it, I know that Lamar, the way he's been playing, is going to be able to exploit this secondary. I think it's going to be a shootout, but in a shootout in Baltimore, I just got to lean towards the Ravens taking this one because the Bills' defense is looking a little banged up, and I just don't know if that defensive line is going to be able to sack Lamar enough times. Yeah. Like I know Von Miller's going to have probably a good game, but they're going to have to get to him.
It's all going to depend.
They're probably going to need to sack him 3-4 times.
If they can
to have
get
a chance.
to Lamar,
they're going to have to.
It just depends on that. And also, I didn't even check it to see if Diggs was okay. I know he got banged up a little bit last game.
Yeah, I think it was just cramps and stuff.
Yeah,
like
he's
that.
good now.
So I think I'm just going to trust in Josh Allen. You got Diggs. You got you still got Gabe Davis. So I'm going to take their offense over almost anybody's. When their offense is clicking, it's like it's the Bills.
It is, yeah.
And
we saw it week 1, we saw it week 2. I mean, they literally destroyed the Rams, they destroyed the Titans. Mm-hmm. Then they had a tough game in Miami with the Heat. I think nobody is doubting how good the Bills are. Mm-hmm. I just think it's a tough matchup coming off of that game. They're not exhausted necessarily, but that Miami Heat ain't no joke. They were literally falling down. They were losing players.
It was crazy.
Yeah.
And I just think the Ravens, led by Lamar, gonna be able to have that momentum, and then the Bills, I just don't know. It's a tough matchup. You know what I mean? It's just unfortunate kind of for the Bills the way the schedule has kind of worked out for them. But I'm gonna have to lean towards the Ravens here.
And this also did pose another question I was thinking about that. It comes down to basically it's quarterback versus quarterback.
Mm-hmm. In this game, yeah.
If you guys had the choice of Lamar Jackson or Josh Allen, who would you take? Who do you think is just the better quarterback at this
We're talking for the future.
We're talking about you get a fresh slate, you're creating a team. Who do you want, Lamar
long term
at this moment, or Josh Allen at this moment, moving forward?
I'm picking Josh Allen.
How so? Why do you think that?
Just all around.
All around?
Yeah, just he's more of an all-around quarterback. He's able to run the ball and he's able to throw it. And although Lamar has improved his throwing, it just hasn't gotten to the level of an excellent quarterback. So
Yeah.
you know what I mean? That's the reason why he's more all around.
I feel that. What about you?
This is probably one of the toughest questions anyone could ever be asked. And any GM who got this question, they'd be in a really blessed. They'd be in a blessed position to get to choose between these two guys. But if I had to take one, and I'm talking, for this season and forward, into the longevity factor, I'm gonna lean towards Lamar Jackson. I think obviously we've seen Lamar. He's had his ups and downs so far in the NFL. He had the amazing MVP year, and he's had years that are not so great. But even in his not so great years, he was still a great quarterback, and we're seeing it. He might be back on that MVP form. But one thing that worries me with Josh Allen specifically is just how durable will he last. One thing about Josh Allen, he doesn't seem eager to slide or anything like that. He's willing to
running through.
He's a fullback.
He wants to run through people.
He wants to run through them, and that's great. But after a certain point, it doesn't work anymore. You're a quarterback. You're gonna have to slide. You're like a big ass linebacker is gonna come one of these times, and Josh Allen is not gonna like how it ends.
To hell no.
And I feel like it could be one of those things. If Josh Allen starts to kind of pick up some injuries, he might just never really be able to come back to this peak that we're seeing right now.
Yeah, especially
But Lamar runs the ball too.
Yes, but I feel like Lamar is he's willing to take what the defense gives him and just get out of there.
Yeah,
Josh
he's
Allen,
a little smarter with
Josh
that.
Allen, if he sees Devin White running after him, he is putting his shoulder down and running through Devin White.
But either way,
Lamar Jackson is not doing
if
that.
that's Lamar's running out of bounds or he's sliding.
Yeah, but either way, that only lasts for so long. You're gonna get caught up eventually.
Yeah, everybody's gonna get hit.
Of course, everyone's gonna get
But
hit.
I think Lamar's so used to doing it more that he's gonna be a little better. You've seen Josh Allen likes hurdling people. He likes jumping over. It looks good for the highlights, but one time they're gonna make
he's willing to go for the extra yards. But
how worth it is those extra yards?
Is it
exactly.
If you fuck up your knee, and he's such a big guy, it's so hard. Anything to do with your knees when you're that big, it's gonna be hard.
Oh yeah,
it's gonna be hard.
So and now obviously I hope Josh Allen is able to remain healthy for a long time, because I think we're seeing some great young quarterbacks, and Josh Allen might be the best of the bunch. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? So if he's able to remain healthy, maybe my answer would change. I just think, unless he changes the way he wants to play football, I feel like I'm just going to have to lean Lamar, because I would just lean on the side of caution and take Lamar.
However, though, would you say that Josh Allen runs the ball less because he's better accurate throwing the ball?
I would say that, yeah.
Sometimes, but most of the games this season for the Buffalo Bills, Josh Allen has been their leading rusher, which I said it on this podcast before. If Josh Allen is going to be the leading rusher of the Buffalo Bills, that is what's going to hold back this team. I'm not saying he's a bad rusher, obviously not.
But they're making bad decisions when he rushes.
But they're gonna obviously he's making bad decisions, but also they just need to get Devin Singletary more involved to let him take those hits. You don't need Josh Allen to look. If you need 5 yards, for 5 yards, you running it up the middle. Why let Josh Allen do that? Give it to the fullback, give it to the halfback, and let him take those hits. You don't want your franchise guy, the guy that the Buffalo Bills might end up paying. God knows how much. $300 million, $400 million. We don't know how big the contract is going to be. But, obviously Lamar on a contract year, and
he's definitely shown worth every penny. He said, pay me.
I think that the Ravens are sitting there. Obviously, they're happy that their quarterback is performing, but they're regretting not paying him what they could have, because the price tag is only going up.
Yeah, God.
It's only going up, and now Lamar is saying, look, y'all might have to give me $300 million.
Dude, it's going to be 300 guaranteed. 300 guaranteed, bro.
Yeah.
But also going back to that point that I think he does throw the ball more because he has Gabe Davis, he has Diggs.
That's he has more options.
I don't think Lamar has a guy like Diggs. He just doesn't.
Yeah. And Devin Duvernay's been having a great season. I mentioned him, but he's not Stephon Diggs. He's just not.
And I feel like people look into the numbers of Lamar throwing compared to Josh Allen, but Lamar is just so good at rushing and running the ball that it takes away.
And his technique is more safer. So I see what you're saying.
And Lamar's gotten way better at throwing. When he throws it, he can throw.
Yeah,
he can drop a bomb, bro. He can throw.
Yeah,
and not even talking about the intangibles. That I think Lamar Jackson's more of a dog. I like his gameness. I think he's more game than Josh Allen. I think he's a little bit more of that killer in him.
Look, I hate to be that guy, but we saw after the loss, kind of against Miami, Josh Allen, the first thing he did, he messed up his throw, made an inaccurate throw. He messed up. He owned up to it, but slams the ground, and then after the game, it literally looks like he's crying into Tua's fucking chest. He's literally crying like he's it's his dad. Like, oh my God, I just messed up. Like, look, you're just not gonna see Lamar do that.
Nah,
Lamar is not gonna cry into the opposing quarterback's chest, and that's literally what it looked like Josh Allen was doing. Look, I agree. Lamar got that dog in him. He got that killer instinct. Give me Lamar.
I'll take Lamar too.
You're taking Lamar?
Even though I picked the Bills got a better team, but I like Lamar as a quarterback better. I like him.
I'd like to hear your explanation why, because we both kind of.
Oh yeah, well, it's basically the same point. That I think he runs a bit smarter. His arm's getting better. I don't think he can throw the ball better than Josh Allen at this moment, but he's getting better. Like we're talking about, like a season from now, he's gonna keep developing, and he's getting smart with his runs. He's willing to run out of bounds, slide, and just do what it takes to win. And I think the intangibles that he'll do whatever it takes to win. There's there's no question. There's a 4th and 5. He wants it. He said, "Give it to me. I'll do it. I'll get it done."
Yeah.
And if he had like a more of a stacked team, kind of like Josh Allen, I think we could talk about him as a Super Bowl contender. But obviously,
it's not the case.
Not the case with him. But I think individually as a quarterback, I take Lamar Jackson.
Mm-hmm. And I hope to see. At least eventually, at some point throughout Lamar Jackson's career, I hope
Odell Beckham Jr.
I hope to see Lamar Jackson with a true number 1 wide receiver, a
Antonio
Stephon
Brown.
Diggs, maybe not Antonio Brown, but a Stephon Diggs level guy.
Yeah.
And I would just love to see. Look, at that point, if he gets that, there ain't no more excuses.
Yeah.
Everyone has been kind of saying, look, wait till Lamar gets this guy, this star wide receiver. Look, he hasn't got it yet, but when he does, that's going to be the true test because I just can't wait to see it. And I think when he does get that, watch out for the Ravens. And it's kind of crazy that they haven't gotten him it yet. But if they're going to pay him this $300 million contract that we're talking about, they're going to have to suck it up and say,
Scrape
look,
up the money.
We're going to have to get him a number 1 receiver too. You know what I'm saying? That's what they're just going to have to do.
All right.
We got Cowboys game, Cooper Rush. Obviously so far 2-0 as the Cowboys quarterback, beating the Bengals and the Giants.
Yeah.
What are our thoughts on Cooper Rush?
I think, if we're talking about this game, I think it doesn't even come down. Cooper Rush is playing well, but if we're talking about this individual game, bro, freaking Micah's about to eat. Bro, they're going to eat him alive, bro. Like, would they give up, 10 sacks? How many sacks did they give up to who?
I think Cooper Rush is a good quarterback, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, if we switch to Cooper Rush, Cooper Rush is playing.
Yeah, I don't think, no disrespect to the Washington Commanders, but I don't think this game is too much of a toss-up. But I do think Cooper Rush is a very interesting talking point, given how well he's been performing for the Cowboys. You know what I mean? And Jerry Jones has come out and say there's no quarterback competition. I'm not saying there should be one. I'm just saying, look, let's point out how well Cooper Rush has been playing. You know what I'm saying? 73.3 QBR in his starts so far, 62.7 completion percentage. Look, maybe he's not quite Dak with his rushing ability and like that, but he's a great game manager, and he's going to make the throws that you need to win the game. And when you've got a defense as good as the Cowboys' defense, led by Micah Parsons, could be the defensive player of the year as of now, you don't need to do too much. Boom. Throw it to CeeDee Lamb. Throw it to Noah Brown. And then let that rushing game do what it can do, led by Tony Pollard and Ezekiel Elliott, who've been having great season so far together. They've been utilizing both backs very well. So I'm interested to see, just how this Cowboys team keeps performing with Cooper Rush, but then also when Dak comes back, how does that affect this offense,
Yeah, because basically it's the Eagles versus the Cowboys.
Yeah.
And that was another thing. I forget I think you all picked the Cowboys to finish the first, right?
Yeah, at the beginning of the season, yeah.
Do you still feel that way when Dak comes back?
Ooh.
Do you think the Eagles are just about to edge them out? Because it's gonna
be close, I think.
But if you had gun to your head right now, who are you taking? Eagles or Cowboys right now? Well, with when they get Dak back.
I'm taking Cowboys.
I don't want to go back on my pick, especially only 4 weeks into the season. And I do think that the Eagles have been very, very, very good. However, I don't know if I'm quite ready to go back on my pick of the Cowboys.
Exactly.
Just because, look, if they're able to keep, this defense has just been continuing to impress me every single week. We saw them pretty much utterly dominate the Cincinnati Bengals when they played. And that wasn't even Cooper Rush's best game as the quarterback or anything like that. It wasn't. But they were still able to win that game because of how dominant this defense is. And then we saw it against the Giants. Cooper Rush more comfortable. The offense had a pretty solid game. And that defense ate the Giants' offensive line alive. Literally ate them alive. Micah Parsons just running through like crazy. And I think obviously the similar thing is probably going to happen this week against the Commanders. It's just that defense is good. And I don't think the Eagles have faced a defense quite as good as this Dallas defense, yet.
Oh, yeah.
Like I'm not gonna be like some people and say the Eagles have faced complete bums so far in the season. And
that's a lie.
Some people are saying that, and that's why the Eagles are 3-0. I think the Eagles are a very good team. I just think I want to see how Jalen Hurts and the rest of this Eagles team does against a defense as good.
A phenomenal defense.
And this Cowboys defense is that. You know what I'm saying? I'm interested to see just how that goes. And obviously, if the Eagles are still able to win, maybe I'll be then ready to backtrack on my pick,
Yeah, but I definitely agree. I think it'd be interesting to see after this what Cooper Rush does when Dak comes back, because, I mean, I think he's better than some starting quarterbacks other than the league.
I was going to ask. That's the question I was going to pose. Do you think that he should start in the league?
I think there's a couple other teams that could use Cooper Rush.
Yeah, I believe so as well.
I think after, and I don't know what's exactly going on with his contract or anything like that, but I'm saying, let's just say if he's a free agent after this season, and I'm a team that needs a stopgap quarterback, a guy who, look, I might be tanking for somebody, and I just need a guy who can be a manageable starter. We've seen it. Cooper Rush is gonna manage the game well. He's kind of like an Alex Smith type of quarterback from back in the day. He's not gonna lose you the game. He's not gonna win you the game. But he's gonna get you maybe 62% completion percentage. He might get you 2 touchdowns, 1 interception. He's not gonna lose you the game. He's not gonna win you the game. He's gonna probably put it back on that defense. If the defense is able to hold him to probably under 24 points, they're probably gonna have a good chance of winning that game.
Yeah,
that's pretty much the Cooper Rush experience, I would say. And look, when you got a defense as good as the Cowboys, they're going to hold most teams to under 24 points, and that's why they've been continuing to win, and they're probably most definitely going to win this week, I would say.
Yeah, 100%. But the next game that I think we wanted to talk about, dude, Broncos and Raiders?
Yeah.
Right, bro.
This game, I mean, at the beginning of the season, we would have circled this game as a highlight matchup, saying, wow, 2 star-studded offenses and 2 great defenses. What a game this is going to be. We're 4 weeks into the season, and we're probably going to be saying the exact opposite about both of these teams and how potentially this might be a bad matchup. It just might not be the game we all expected it to be.
Playing horrible.
Both of these teams have been playing horrible. Honestly, who's going to play worse? That's almost a question to ask. But I'll pose it to one of y'all. What are y'all thoughts on this game?
I think it's the law of averages, dude. It's like there's no way this Raiders team can go 0-4.
That's what I was
There's
saying.
no way.
And it's too good. It's too good of a team.
It's too good of a team to go 0-4. You're not the fucking Lions, man.
And it's not even like Josh McDaniels, is a bad coach. He's coming from the Bill Belichick coaching tree. He's been with Tom Brady almost his whole career. This guy knows what he's doing. He's a good offensive mind. And I think one of the biggest things that I can take away, look, the Raiders are averaging 4.5 yards per carry. It's pretty damn good. They're running the ball effectively, but they run it less than every other team in the league. They're 32nd in the league in rushing attempts. It doesn't make any sense. Josh Jacobs touches the ball 9 times in the red zone through 4 weeks. And this is a guy who led the team in rushing touchdowns last year, 12 touchdowns. You know what I mean? Most of those coming in the red zone. And he's never really getting the ball in the red zone. What are they doing? They're over here trying to throw it. You
think it's because Devontae Adams is there? Do you think that
I think
they're trying to be a little more flashy?
It could play into it, but that's another thing. If you're not going to run it in the red zone, okay, then you have to pass it. Derek Carr in the red zone, 9 for 27, 33.3% completion percentage, and he's thrown for 57 yards, 6 touchdowns, 1 interception, and 13 trips. That's just not good. It's just that you're scoring a touchdown less than 50% of the time. You're throwing interceptions. And so far, this team is the 5th most turnovers in the NFL. So right now, it just seems as if it's just not a well-coached football team. Even though I just said Josh McDaniels is a good coach, it just seems as if it's not quite what we expected. And maybe it's gonna take this team a year to get to where maybe we expected. Josh McDaniels, give him a little bit of time. I'm not saying fire Josh McDaniels. I'm just saying it looks to me. Obviously, they've got the talent. It kind of is coming down to the coaching almost, Yeah,
and, they're playing the Broncos. The Broncos have been and everything but, they've been one of the most underwhelming teams like so far that we expected.
Mm-hmm.
And
barely scraping by a win.
yeah, like
Literally, that I literally I couldn't even almost hold my eyes open for that Sunday night game last week.
They're playing the Seahawks, the Texans, and the 49ers. Like, they're not playing like a star-studded, the best teams in the league.
Yeah.
Which they lost to the Seahawks. They struggled against the Texans, and they barely won against the Niners.
And Niners probably should have won that game.
Yeah,
They should have.
It came really close, but I think it's just that the Broncos are due a loss and the Raiders are due a win. So I'm picking the Raiders, and I don't think
we're
they're
picking the Raiders. But one thing I would like to say is, no matter which team wins, no matter whether it's a blowout 24-0,
it could be a 0-0 draw.
All I gotta say is, it doesn't really. Like, it's not going to change their season. Like, the Broncos, I don't want nobody saying, like, the Broncos is back.
No.
Broncos country, we're going to go to the Super Bowl.
If they beat the Raiders, that's not obviously.
And that's what I'm saying. Whether it's the Raiders is going to win, I don't want to hear anybody saying, like, they're going to go to the playoffs, far in the playoffs, they're going to be the team that we predicted it to be, like, you know what I'm saying, before the season.
You picked the Raiders to finish first.
That's what I'm saying. And it's just not happening, man.
But it's already over.
And I think the Broncos specifically are interesting. Similar to the Raiders, I would say almost both of these teams kind of have similar issues. Exactly how the issues come into play, that's the different part. Raiders obviously have a lot of red zone issues, and that's on the field. The Broncos just have a head coaching problem in general. Nathaniel Hackett, I don't know what is going on in this guy's head. Look, have y'all ever heard of a head coach having to hire another coach on the staff to manage the game, like manage in-game decisions? Probably not. Because no other team in the league does that. This guy is so bad at managing the clock and managing, the play clock and getting the offensive plays into Russell Wilson, that he had to hire another coach just to do that.
Just for that, it's his only job.
Literally, they lost the week 1 against the Seahawks because of that field goal decision. Literally, everybody was clowning Hackett for that, and it was after that game that he made the decision. He said, "Look, I got to get another coach in here to help me out and make these decisions." So that, I would say, that's the main problem, and obviously another issue, Russell Wilson's performance. Not quite performing exactly how we expected for the $250 million man. However, I think the issues between Russell Wilson and his receiving core and all of that, they're fixable issues. It's a more timing issues. If you notice, Russell Wilson he just doesn't have the same chemistry with these guys that he did with his guys in Seattle, and that's okay. You notice it. Him and Cortland Sutton. They've had some good plays, obviously, but you see a couple passes just thrown a little bit behind them. Sometimes they just don't quite know what exactly they're going. Russell Wilson's throwing it to the flat, and he's running a post. They're just not quite always on the same page. And when the rushing game has not quite been what we expected it for the Broncos as well, that is why this offense has been so bad. And then obviously when you mix in the fact that Nathaniel Hackett doesn't know when to kick a field goal, when to punt, and when to do whatever, that's why this team has been looking so bad. And a lot of people are saying that this defense is elite top 3 in the league or whatever. And right now they are statistically, but they played the Seahawks.
They played the Seahawks. They played the Texans and the 49ers.
Look, I'm not saying this defense is bad, but I'm saying this defense.
It hasn't been run through.
It has not been tested yet.
You versus those teams, any defense is going to look good.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, like,
it's the Texans.
I think the Broncos have a good defense, but I'm not going to sit up here and act like that they're going to remain a top 3 defense for the rest of the season. It's just not going to get the case. But I don't think this Broncos offense is going to remain as bad for the rest of the season. I think it's going to kind of average out, and this team is just kind of mid.
Yeah.
That's just what, you know what I mean? And the Raiders, they just kind of got the same issues that we've been talking about. You know what I'm saying? So I'm very intrigued to see how this game goes. I can't wait to watch it personally because something has to give.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? There's issues on both sides, but one of these teams, well, unless there's a draw, one of these teams is going to come away with a W.
Bro, don't be surprised if it's a 0-0 draw. If there's a way these teams could both lose, they'd find a way to both lose.
I would say, and although they might have not played the most difficult schedule in the world, if the Broncos are able to come out of these 4 games that they've looked appallingly bad in 3-1, I don't think that can be too disheartened or whatever. And Russell Wilson's performance is only going to get better. Am I saying that they're going to do good and make the playoffs or anything like that? I'm not going to guarantee anything.
Definitely not.
I'm just saying you got to kind of take the position that they're in. And even if they're 2-2, I'm saying you're taking that. But given how bad they've looked, they don't not they. You can make
booed. They were getting booed by their own fans.
Exactly. You could make the argument that they should be an 0-3 team with the Raiders, and they
should
just
both be 0-3.
Yeah, you could make that argument. You know what I mean? And maybe after we watch this game, we could be saying they both deserve to be 0-4. Give them both the loss.
Give them both a loss.
That's what I'm thinking might honestly happen.
Yeah, I'm gonna be trying my best.
So y'all ready to get into the next topic?
Well, hold on. I think we're missing one game we disagreed on.
Which one?
Look at it again.
Oh, Chiefs Bucks.
The Chiefs versus the Bucks. So wait, am I the only one that chose the Bucks?
Yeah.
Yeah, I took the Chiefs.
Bruh, what's gone into y'all, bruh?
Look,
The Chiefs over the Bucks.
I know that the Chiefs, they're coming off of a loss we didn't expect them to take against the Indianapolis
against
Colts.
The Colts,
Look, the Colts have not looked great this season, and then somehow they come out and they beat the Kansas City Chiefs. But I would say the Chiefs almost beat themselves in some ways. And you never want to make excuses for them, but I just know an Andy Reid-led team going into primetime is not going to look this bad again. You know what I'm saying? Andy Reid is going to get these guys going right. And I know, you see it from Patrick Mahomes. As soon as they took that loss, he's saying, look, we're going to rectify it. We'll make it better. I believe him. I think that they've probably been, probably coming up with some new schemes. I don't know exactly what they've been doing, but I just think, look, Patrick Mahomes motivated as ever. Andy Reid, an offensive genius, just a coaching genius in general. He's not going to let his team be looking this bad back-to-back weeks on primetime. Give me the Chiefs.
So you think Tom Brady is going to go out there back-to-back and not play well? Basically.
But the thing with the Bucks, and maybe I didn't get into them enough.
They have some injuries.
The thing with the Bucks, they have some injuries, and although they're getting Mike Evans back from suspension, is that enough?
I think that's more than enough. Dude, they last week, they basically had me out there in the slot, bro. Like, dude, he literally, Rashad Perriman. Like, they had literally no wide receivers. Dude. I'm trying to think, who was it was Scotty Miller. Dude, Scotty Miller was going to get cut before the season, bro. In the training camp, there was literally reports that he was going to get cut. So they're playing a guy that's literally about to get cut out there in the place of Mike Evans. Look, if Tom Brady just has Mike Evans, that's more than enough. And especially the Bucks defense. Well, what? You're talking about a top 5 defense. They're going to get to Patrick Mahomes.
They will.
They're going to get to him. So it's more the fact that, one, I take Tom Brady over Patrick Mahomes any day. Any day of the week, I take not Patrick Mahomes. I take Tom Brady over him. And the fact that he has a better defense as well. And he has Mike Evans back. And he's coming off, a loss to Aaron Rodgers. Probably the one he circled the most.
Yeah.
The one that circled the most that I do not want to lose to Aaron Rodgers.
At home as well. He lost to Aaron Rodgers at home in Tampa.
So now Patrick Mahomes is gonna have to take this ass whooping, and I think the Bucks are gonna lay it on him. I think you're gonna see a big game.
A blowout?
Not a blowout, but they're gonna have a good stranglehold on the Chiefs. The defense are gonna play big, and Tom Brady's gonna show you why he's the GOAT. Again, he's going to remind you every single time. Every time, bruh, I don't like when Zach picks Tom Brady because it's like he's picking them, but he's crossing his fingers that I'll hope he fucking loses.
Even last week,
he picked them. I don't know why he picked them. He's a
I love Aaron Rodgers, and
bro. I swear I have texts where he's telling me that fucking Aaron Rodgers is like God compared to Tom Brady. That Tom Brady's like this water bottle out on the field. And Aaron Rodgers is like the guy, the greatest player of all time. And then he comes on here and says, "Oh yeah, give me Tom Brady." He does that, bro.
And then they lose.
So he does in a way he doesn't lose, bro, because he wants Tom Brady to lose, but he picked. It's like he just does not come on here, and I'm glad he chose, Patrick Mahomes, because that's another guy he just rides, bro. Every time,
God.
even when it came down to the Super Bowl last time, he was like, bro, it's baby GOAT. It's all freaking, it's the flashiest guy in football. So, I'm glad he chose the Chiefs. Don't need none of his freaking, his two-facedness.
Yeah.
I got the GOAT, and I'm riding with it.
Well, both teams have been doing pretty good this year, I would say. They've been doing pretty good, and they're both good teams overall. So that's why I picked the Chiefs, because the Bucks' injuries is just gonna be a weighing factor, man. Those wide receivers, Chris Godwin, bro, like an amazing wide receiver.
He is starting to get close to coming back. He did practice with the team,
but he's not going to quite be back.
But he's not going to be back yet.
Exactly. I saw that he was practicing. I did see that.
And Julio's still questionable.
And that obviously, when those guys do come back, that's gonna completely
change the game.
It's gonna completely change the way we talk about the Bucks. Right now, we consider them not a great offense. As soon as those guys come back, they come maybe even a top 5 offense in the league. We don't know.
Yeah, and
we haven't gotten quite to see it all yet.
They still got their defense up, so I think that's the biggest difference here. Is the Bucks defense is just going. They've been holding a lot of these teams. under. We haven't seen anybody like put it on the Bucks yet, like that.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm riding with them.
I think it's going to be very, very, very close. You know,
Do
probably a field goal game.
Do you know that sounds like? I feel like you're saying that, but you don't want to say that. That's not what you truly believe.
Now, speaking on Russell Wilson's poor performance earlier, people are absolutely roasting him because of his new Subway sandwich.
Yeah.
The Danger Witch.
The Danger Witch.
And the commercial that went with the sandwich, obviously.
Exactly.
You ever do anything dangerous?
Exactly. You ever do anything dangerous? And he kept on saying it.
It's the most Russell Wilson shit
it's
ever,
just a Russell.
It was pretty funny. It was hilarious. I liked it.
It's fucking hilarious. It's just so cringe.
So let me read out the toppings. We got pepperoni, salami, ham, bacon with provolone cheese on an Italian and cheese bread. Then we got banana peppers, green peppers, tomato, and lettuce.
That's good. That's good. You tell me that's not good?
With yellow mustard and mayo.
Yeah.
So people are killing him right now all over Twitter, not only for the commercial, but for the sandwich itself. Because
not everyone is saying it sounds great. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
And I think...
So we got a surprise here for you today. Zach, if you want to pull out the sandwich.
The only way to know if people are capping or not, we have the sandwich.
The first ever Danger Witch made here, you know what I'm saying? They literally almost didn't even get it to us, you know what I'm saying? But we were able to get the Danger Witch, and we are going to do the dirty work here and eat it and test it out for y'all and let y'all know.
The front workers didn't know who it was, but the manager came out and she was like, yeah, the Danger Witch. I remember.
Exactly.
Oh, dear Lord.
Danger Witch.
Bro, Blue was literally, I think he was shaking when we were in the car and this thing. He was not looking forward to the sandwich. You tell me that doesn't look good. Oh, you can see the mustard.
Mustard, bro.
You don't like mustard, bro?
Here we go.
I don't like mustard or mayo.
All right.
Who's going first?
Everyone take their piece here. I don't want
to. Hold on, bro. Hold on.
Oh, no.
Oh, I'm going to get in the end.
All right, y'all two get the end. I'll get the middle. And then here's some napkins for us here.
I'm going to need a napkin. Oh, my.
All right. So, who's going first?
Zach, you got to go first.
I got to go first?
You have to go first.
All right. I'm going to eat this.
Take it out.
Let me just show the camera. It's what it looks like on the...
It looks like a sandwich, bro.
Yeah, it looks like a sandwich.
Eat that. Oh, he's thinking. You gotta process that bite. You took a big bite out of that, you know. I think, dude, Boo's about to take like the smallest little bird peck from that shit.
This shit ain't great.
What are you talking, bro?
It's not great.
It's not great.
Like, I'm not gonna lie.
Gee, you're next.
It's not as bad. It's not as bad. It's not as bad as it sounds. But it's still not great, and that mustard is overpowering.
Oh, my God.
Oh, okay.
Not the mustard.
I want to give you the true opinion here. I'll give you a second. Broncos country, let's ride.
How does he eat this? Every day? Like, every time he goes, bro?
No. Bro. It's not bad.
Yeah, really.
Dude, that's not bad.
It wasn't as bad as I thought.
Bad.
It's not as bad as I thought it was.
That's not that bad, bro. Like, bro, just buy it. Just buy it. It's not
come
that
on,
bad.
Blue. Come on. Hey. Hold on. Already? Oh my God.
Bro, it's not that bad, bro.
Bad.
No, come on, bro. It's not that bad. We're acting like you just ate a ghost pepper, bro. It's not that bad, bro.
It could be worse. It definitely could be worse.
That was my first initial reaction as well.
It has a possibility to be worse.
But it doesn't make it great.
It's got
bad.
the crunch. It's got, mine didn't have that much mustard on it. I didn't get that.
Wait, I'm tossing this.
You're tossing it.
I'll throw it away.
Y'all
yeah.
I'm low-key hungry, though, so.
So you're going to eat the Danger Witch.
Eating the Danger Witch.
Hell no, that's dangerous.
After that, I'm feeling dangerous.
Oh, my
I'm
God.
feeling a little dangerous.
Bro, Dude, I was expecting for that to be really bad. I was gonna have to. I had a couple of jokes lined up for that, man.
That's
Shit.
what I'm saying.
It
I
wasn't that
expected
bad.
it to be really
I was gonna be
bad.
like,
I did
it
expect
tastes
it to
like
be
how he
bad.
plays.
Yeah, I did expect it to be bad.
No,
Especially
it's
with
not that
people
bad.
going crazy on Twitter and everything, but
What would I order it? Fuck no.
hell no.
Hell no. But I don't think he actually eats that, bro. I don't believe.
I think
that
he
shit.
eats it,
Honestly,
and it's
honestly,
the
I eat the
reason
rest. It's
why
not that
he
bad.
has this
Not that
bad
bad.
performance that he's been having. Like, it's a reason, bro. Like, he has
It's
to
not
mentally
the
go to Subway
same.
and be like, damn, I got to get this ass sandwich.
Dude,
Like,
No.
he knows.
no, hell no, bro. It was not that bad, bro.
Yeah, like it's not great, obviously, bro. Like,
But I'm hungry, bro. You see in different cultures, bro. I don't let shit go to waste, bro. You don't let shit go to waste.
No,
yeah,
bro.
I'll
it's
eat.
just,
I'll eat the rest of it. Here.
I just couldn't, bro. It's just the mustard and the mayo, bro. It's just really not my thing. But I had a bite, and it could have been worse.
Bro,
Like,
I thought you were about to explode,
Can I get
bro.
a swig of that water?
yeah.
Oh, which one?
Doesn't matter.
This guy, you gotta get more water, bro.
I forgot it.
Waste man. What?
Might as well finish it now, or, yeah.
You finish it?
Not
Yeah,
that
really.
bad.
Overall, man, I ain't gonna lie. Not bad. Like, we when we were ordering it, we were expecting it to be bad. You know.
Yeah.
That was the entire lead up, bro. The fucking the danger witch. It's dangerous. Spicy. He said it was spicy. It's not fucking spicy.
It wasn't.
It was not spicy at all.
No, it wasn't.
Zach hates spicy. Like, I know Zach. Like, he does not like spicy things. So, like
Not
he
spicy.
would say it.
Yeah, it's not
You say
spicy.
it's spicy.
Not bad. Honestly, like when you're out here reading out these topics, it
Doesn't sound good.
sounds
Ramen
terrible.
shit, bro.
But then like all together, hits those taste buds. My honest review.
What'd you rate out?
Yeah, I was about to give it a rating out of 10.
10.
4 out of 10. Maybe a light 5. Light 5. 4 light 5.
Let's say 5.
I would give it 4 if it didn't have the mustard and the mayo and had some other type of dressing.
So you think it's a 3?
But I think it's a 3. Yeah, it's definitely a 3.
Definitely not.
3. It's borderline 4. Like, I want to say like 3.5, like even like 3.7. But yeah,
I mean, look, I was fully expecting to come on here and eat this and then just call it a 0.
for sure. All of us
I was
were.
expecting a 0. I'm glad I'm going out here with a. What I said? I think a 5. Yeah, I'm happy with a 5.
Y'all know me. Y'all were expecting 0. I was
Oh,
expecting
yeah.
negative.
God.
I was expecting
I thought you were gonna
negative.
spit it out for a second.
I
You know,
did.
You had it. You're like chugging water. I was like, damn, this
Yeah.
guy's like, bro.
Yeah, keep in mind that this was Blue's first ever time trying Subway as well.
Exactly. I've never like ate a sub sandwich like
From Subway
from
before.
Subway. Like I mess with Publix, but
Public sub.
Public subs,
Yeah.
but-
And I think it's fitting that his
The first one with the
Danger Witch.
the
'Cause
danger.
We were
way.
feeling
name.
dangerous.
The dangerous. No,
But yeah,
Now we got that over with. Let's
Wow.
let's shoot it straight into soccer.
What we got?
oh well.
We got the North London Derby.
North London Derby.
Spurs versus Arsenal.
What are your thoughts on that? What do you think of that, Zach?
Look,
Everyone going in. Oh my bad. What do you think about that? Zach?
You're
Yeah,
not paying-
but,
yeah.
it doesn't matter.
yeah. I was gonna say everyone going in thought Tottenham was gonna win Spurs, but it
Yeah,
just
yeah.
it just didn't
I
end up like that.
I feel like people were a little bit leaning toward more Spurs because, Antonio Conte is a proven manager. They have Harry Kane, a superstar.
Their forwards are some of the best forwards
Yeah, they got
in the Premier League.
Heung-min Son,
And he was
even
on
though-
great form as well.
Yeah, even though Heung-min Son had a little bit of bad start, he had a hat trick.
Getting back onto the right form. You know?
Yeah, getting back on there. They have like 2 arguable superstars on that team. And I feel like people were leaning more towards Spurs, but
Yeah.
I had Arsenal going into it because I think Arsenal, with the coaching of Arteta, he's starting to fully transform this team, and they truly believe that they're not fakers. They're the real deal. These players truly believe that because through that entire 11, there's not one. They don't have a Harry Kane. They don't have
true
a
superstar.
They don't have that one guy, but they have a group of people that believe in what Arteta's saying and believe in the tactic and way of they play football. Gabriel Jesus playing good. Odegaard playing good. Xhaka looks like a transformed
Yeah,
player.
especially today.
Yeah, like from coming the past seasons to where where he was stripped of captaincy. There was people saying that they didn't want to see him play for the club anymore.
Exactly, like he's unfit to wear the badge.
He's unfit to wear the kit. And for him to be a real leader in this team again and having Thomas Partey and like
what a goal that was, by the way.
Just a peach of a shot. And they're really implementing that style of football. Arsenal could be they're a real team that you have to be. City have to be worried about Arsenal to be a parcel that they could win it. They could win it all.
And I think that was the main drawback people had on Arsenal so far. Obviously, they're top of the league. There's not many drawbacks you can have. But when you look through their schedule, people were always going to say they haven't played one of them top teams yet. And I think everyone considers Spurs to be one of those sides.
Yeah, they're three.
Exactly. They're third in the league, and now before the game and now after the game. And, before this game, they had no losses. They were unbeaten, just like, Arsenal.
No, Arsenal lost to Man United. Because
exactly.
When Arsenal did play that top team, they lose.
They lost.
But,
But unbeaten to teams besides Man United. Exactly. Yeah. So people wanted to see how they were going to respond. And
especially in this derby.
This is the biggest one.
This is the most heated one. And they're both good. It's been a while since we've seen a North London derby
mean something as much.
Something.
Yeah.
It wasn't just two. Like Arsenal's the shit club, and it's Spurs have always been decent,
or vice versa.
Yeah, now they're both like top 4 teams.
Yeah,
and they're both jostling because they want to be on top of the other.
Yeah,
and it was nice to see. A great thing to be introduced back to football after taking that
break, that break.
Do you guys believe that Gabriel Jesus could be a star?
I think he's a star, but if we're talking
like a superstar,
I don't think he'll be a superstar though. I think he's a great player.
Yeah, I think I agree. I think he's a great player, but I don't know if he's going to quite take that jump into superstar status.
Yeah, like is he going to be on par with Harry Kane or Mohamed Salah or Erling Haaland or these guys? I don't think so.
I don't think so. But I think he can definitely lead this team.
The basically what Arsenal need him to do, he's doing it and more. He's doing what he needs to do. Perfectly.
Exactly.
Saka is doing what he needs to do. It's everybody's flowing together. They're playing very well.
In Zinchenko, I know it's just a left back, but I think that was one of their key additions. Obviously, Gabriel Jesus a great addition, but
Martinelli,
Zinchenko,
Martinelli, spectacular.
Yeah.
It's just they're all.
He won the penalty today.
Yeah, they're playing great.
That was Richarlison, but then I don't know.
Richarlison.
But I don't know. I forgot. I don't know where I was going with that. No, but I'm getting confused with my Arsenal Brazilians because I wanted to point this out, and I saved this. Look, this was almost like once Gabriel Jesus scored to make it 2-1, it was guaranteed Arsenal was going to win. Listen to this. Gabriel Jesus, he's never lost a game that he scored in. 51 games, 63 goals, 0 losses.
So every game
he has scored in, he has won, whether it's been for Manchester City or Brazil or whatever. He scores, you know that you're going to get the win. And I think it's just an unbelievable record, and that's kind of a random statistic per se. But look, Arsenal playing unbelievable football. And look, Gabriel Jesus, he's going to continue this form, I feel like. Yeah. And they've done it against Tottenham now, and we're going to continue to see Gabriel Jesus lead this team. I would expect him to continue to score goals. Is he going to overtake Haaland for Golden Boot or anything like that?
No.
That's not the type of player
it's not going to happen, but I think he's going to really, really have... He's going to continue this form. He's going to have his best ever Premier League season, I would say.
I think
better than he's had with City.
He does different things than Haaland does. Like he's more involved in the build-up. He can dish balls. Like he has better connections with Martinelli, with Saka. Like he's really going into this, like center forward.
He's just making more assists.
Yeah, center forward more than more than a number 9. Really, he's more of a center forward.
Yeah,
but he can't score, and he's not as bad as when Man City. He was just known for missing so many chances.
Yeah,
like, he scored a goal, but it took him fucking 10
How many shots
to get that. But now he's being more of a pocher. The chances you give him a chance, he's
probably gonna take it.
He's probably gonna take it.
And obviously, when you give him the chance that he had in this game, I mean, literally, Lloris gave it to him. There's nobody there. He has to score. He has to score that.
Son.
And those types of goals, like you can call that, easy tap in, blah blah blah.
But he has to.
You have to have that awareness, that positioning, know where to be. And look, if you're gonna really be the only striker in this team, and obviously they play a 1-striker formation. Look,
of course,
you have to have that awareness, and you have to be able to be in the right place at the right time to get those goals. Haaland does it. Harry Kane does it. The best strikers, that's what they're kind of known for almost to a certain extent. And Gabriel Jesus starting to show that more so than he ever has. We knew Gabriel Jesus was a great dribbler of the ball. We knew what he can do on the ball. And I think we're almost seeing it even a little bit more, what he can do in terms of the build-up play. You know, he can fall back. He doesn't have to stay super, super high up the field and just be an in-behind guy. Look, if he needs to come back, touch the ball, he can really link up play. He could be a Cam if he kind of wanted to. You know what I mean? He doesn't have to.
That's why I said he's a center forward.
Exactly. He can really do it all. And what he offers on the ball in the build-up is so important, especially to the way Arsenal want to play, similar to that Pep Guardiola style of football. Obviously, they took Gabriel Jesus from Manchester City playing with Pep, so it all kind of ties in.
He already had the idea.
But it's just exactly what they needed. You know, it was honestly, Gabriel Jesus was like the perfect signing, almost for Arsenal. And I think that's probably one of their big reasons why they're top of the league right now.
Yeah, no, if they didn't have Gabriel Jesus, I couldn't imagine what the team would look like.
But
it just looked like it's another team.
I'm interested to hear y'all's thoughts. Obviously, top of the league right now. How long can they keep this going? Can they stay top of the league for an extended period of time? I'm not going to say they're going to win the league, but how long can this last?
I think no matter what, they're a lock-in for top four. I think it would take an absolute bottle job to the highest degree for them not to get top four. Like,
and I remember I wasn't saying that at the beginning of the season, but now
now that you starting to see how they play, I think for sure top four is locked in. They're going to play Champions League football. Mm-hmm. But to see that to play top, to live in a time where I saw Leicester City win a title, anything's possible. City,
City are a great side.
City are really good, but you
have to think that
anything is possible.
And you have to think one thing with City. I still think City are probably going to win the league.
City have to. Well, they have to win it. They have to win it.
But at a certain point, we might see. Look, they got to try to win this Champions League. That's not going to say that's their main priority, but it probably is. They're going to want to push for that Champions League. And if Arsenal can, let's just say if Arsenal can be top at Christmas, I think that's when things will start to get very, very interesting in the Premier League because, that Champions League round of 16 and the rest of the knockout stage will start in February around then. Like at a certain point, they're going to start putting more focus on that. And Arsenal doesn't really have that European competition, per se. That they're really, really focusing on. The Premier League is going to be their main priority.
Yeah,
exactly.
So if they are and they're able to, let's just say they have a little bit of a lead, do I still think they're going to win the league? Not necessarily, but I just think it'll be getting a little bit interesting. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
If I had to give an official prediction, obviously, I don't think they're going to win the league or stay top of the league.
My prediction was still City was going to win.
But I would say top four, I would be shocked if they didn't make top four.
Exactly.
Seeing as how good they look. And I said this even at the beginning of the season. I saw them play in preseason, when they played Chelsea,
we
Arsenal.
I had them in top four. I think I had them. I think I had them number 4. I think I had 4 and 3.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, speaking of Manchester City, you guys ready to get in the Manchester Derby?
Yeah, it's gonna be
them versus United,
going down tomorrow.
It's gonna be a great game. United
obviously
are really good form.
Yeah, but obviously Man City being the favorites.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on the game?
I think that this game is gonna be a true benchmark to just show how good Manchester United are. We're starting to see them pick up their form after that kind of horrific start, and we were thinking, dang. Erik ten Hag, was he not the solution we all thought he was? Was this just Ole Gunnar Solskjaer 2.0? Obviously, not quite the case. They're starting to pick up their form again, and they've been doing good in the Europa League, and they're I think number 6 in the Premier League right now, and they've been on really good form. They don't have no pressure going into this game, I feel like. Obviously there's always pressure, I guess, to a certain extent, but now real pressure. No one is really necessarily expecting them, they have to win this game. It's a must-win. Look, if they lose this game, but you can hold your hands up and say it was the expected result. Mm-hmm. They're playing with house money, and I think this is just going to be the true benchmark to show how good are they. Are they that team that can be the second best team in the Premier League, be a guaranteed lock for top 4, or are they the team that is dwelling in that 4 to 6 range? Are they going to make the top 4? It's not guaranteed to make the top 4, like we said about Arsenal.
Do you guys think Ronaldo will play?
No, I don't think he'll play. No.
What about you?
I don't know. I mean, it doesn't seem.
If he does, it'll be
it doesn't seem as if Erik ten Hag has that idea. So far, if he hasn't done it really that much in the season so far, I don't see. I doubt in the biggest game of the season so far. That's what's coming. But at the same time, you never really know what to expect. You know what I'm saying? And you never know until you know.
Okay, so what's score prediction? What you got? Gotta think about it.
I'm going to have to go 3-1 City.
What do you think, Blue?
3-0 City.
3-0? Just because this seems like a Man City game that they would lose. I'm going 2-1 United. I've seen City lose this matchup
of course.
Before when they were dominant. And I'm not saying, you know, like, oh, freaking City always loses the derby. I just think it kind of seems like it's aligning for City to lose. So I'm picking them to win this game.
And oftentimes, you know, when a team is playing, when a team is good as, you know, Manchester United, that's a obviously it's a really expensive 11, but it's just a high quality 11. You know, Anthony, and we're seeing Lisandro Martinez, who I want to get into in a second.
Rashford.
Anytime a team this good is playing
Rashford, one playing a month last year.
Exactly. Anytime a team this good is playing with house money, you know, you can kind of get that kind of result that you're saying, and you get it wouldn't be a shocking result because you're predicting it, but shocking to a certain extent because
because they're not favorites.
A lot of people are, exactly, they're not the favorites, but. And obviously one matchup that everyone is kind of talking about, you know, obviously given the form of Erling Haaland and, you know, one of the center backs he's going to be going up against, we've saw it, Lisandro Martinez. What do we think about this matchup? And this might honestly be the matchup that decides the game. If United are to win, they're going to have to stop Erling Haaland.
Yeah.
And Lisandro Martinez is the guy who's probably going to have to do that. So what do we think about this matchup?
I think Haaland's definitely going to try and target him a little more because he's the shorter defender. Because if you look at it, you know, you want to go for the shorter guy. I don't think he's going to want to be really going at Varane that much.
Yeah.
But, I mean, I think that's definitely something Haaland should win. Like, he should be getting
especially given the form he's on.
Yes, with the form he's on, you know, tap-in merchant, he should be, you know, a little bit better. Maybe he'll get a header.
And that's the thing. We've seen I don't know the exact number, but we've seen how many times has KDB crossed the ball to Haaland and he scored this season? It seems as if I mean, how many times does it have to happen? And you know, obviously, given I think it's a 7-inch height disparity between Haaland and Lisandro Martinez. Given how good this partnership, this duo is between Haaland and KDB, I would have to imagine Haaland is going to get a couple chances in the air, whether it's one of them fine scissor kicks he likes to do or just a simple header. He's going to have a clear advantage there, and I know Kevin De Bruyne, arguably I would say the best crosser in football. You know, maybe him and Trent, you know.
Yeah.
KDB's going to give Haaland some good opportunities in the air, and you would have to imagine against Lisandro Martinez 7 inches shorter than him, he's going to take advantage of that. And that's why I would say Haaland will score tomorrow. You know what I mean? If you're thinking about taking that bet, Haaland scoring tomorrow.
Yeah,
you know,
definitely.
Haaland is going to at least one.
I don't think that's I don't think that's a crazy thing to say, but yeah, I do see it. I do see it happen.
Yeah.
I do see him, getting tap in, add into the tap in merchant,
You ready to talk about Nkunku going to Chelsea?
I'm ready. Of course I'm ready.
So yeah, let's talk about it.
Nkunku going to Chelsea. Obviously, Chelsea, your team, in a bit of a weird spot.
Yeah.
Adding Nkunku, what do you think that does for you guys?
Well, I think that getting Nkunku solves two main issues with this team that I've been begging for an answer on it for years. First of all, and I've been saying this for years, Chelsea needs a dynamic playmaker. When they had Eden Hazard, you saw what he did. He was just dribbling at everybody. They had Hazard, they had Willian. These are two dynamic wingers when they were in their prime. They literally ran at you. They beat you. They got that cross, and Hazard loved to cut inside, take that shot. Chelsea has no players that are doing that now. Hakeem Ziyech, we thought he was going to be able to do it. Literally just tries to be Arjen Robben 2.0, but he's not Arjen Robben. He can't quite always cut back into the left foot as good as he was. We thought, Christian Pulisic might be able to take that leap into that guy. He's not been quite getting the chances he deserves. They signed Raheem Sterling, but he hasn't been quite the playmaker that we've needed.
I totally forgot he was on that team.
Nkunku, literally 20 goals, 13 assists last season. He's a proven goal scorer and a proven playmaker. I think given what he can do in the build-up with his technical ability, his dribbling, his passing, all of that, and his proven goal-scoring ability, It's almost killing two birds with one stone. Two things that Chelsea desperately need: a proven goal scorer and a playmaker. And Nkunku is both of those.
What formation do you think they would run with Nkunku in it?
Well, I don't know exactly what Graham Potter is gonna kind of cook up per se. You know, I think I don't know. You would probably say maybe a 3-back. You know, because that's kind of what maybe he's been getting at. But at the same time, Graham Potter might switch it up to that 4-2-3-1. I don't know exactly what he's gonna want to do. If I had to guess, Graham Potter is probably gonna go with kind of that 3-back, but like /5-back thing with Cucurella, and he's gonna get Reece James on the other side, and then it'll be kind of like the same thing too, kind of like 3-4-3. I don't know exactly what it's gonna be, and I don't even know exactly where Nkunku is gonna play. Whether it's gonna be in more of like a attacking midfield role or the center forward role that he's been playing for Leipzig. I don't know. I think Nkunku he literally can do so many things. He can play right wing, he can play left wing, he can play center forward, he can play cam, he can play striker. We just got to get him in there somewhere. We just need his overall ability wherever he is, whether he's on the wing, whether he's central. We just need that ability on the team.
Chelsea have a lot of players now that they're gonna have to look to. What we're gonna do with what's gonna happen with Mason Mount? What's gonna happen
he's been playing
Kai Havertz? What's gonna happen with Conte? Or what's gonna happen with Jorginho? Because you can't have all those guys, and then you add Nkunku. What happens to the guys that are not gonna play?
I would say out of the people like out of the people you've just said, the people that Nkunku would directly be kind of taking a spot potentially from would be Mount or Havertz. You know what I mean? Jorginho, you know, he's more of a holding midfielder. Yeah. He's not really at risk of losing his spot in the team because of Nkunku. If we sign somebody else,
I forgot Kovacic.
Yeah, but he's the same thing as Jorginho. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
so I'm saying like if we're playing like 3-4-3, we'd have the two. It'd probably be Jorginho Kova or Jorginho Kante. And then Cucurella, Reece James, you know, is that wing back. And then it'd be like Sterling, Havertz, unless we sign, you know, whatever.
We have Aubameyang.
Or Aubameyang. But to me personally, like Aubameyang, he did score today. I don't know. I'm saying I don't know how long Aubameyang's staying. Looking in the next season, which is when we'd be kind of signing Nkunku, probably would be something along the lines of like Sterling, Havertz maybe, and Nkunku right wing.
Havertz at striker?
That's where he's been playing. I mean, look, is it ideal by any stretch of the? I don't know. Look,
would you rather have Nkunku at striker?
I'd play Nkunku.
That's what I'm saying.
I don't know. Exactly.
I would agree with that.
I would keep Aubameyang though. Well, it just depends if
I don't know.
There.
I think the thing with Chelsea is, and it's tough to predict. You know, we're literally
maybe that's the solve to the number 9 curse. Don't sign a number 9. Just play a fucking midfielder at striker. Maybe that's the solution.
They've already tried that.
Yeah, they definitely tried that.
Yeah, it hasn't been working. But maybe when Nkunku will work.
But I think the thing with Chelsea that's kind of tough, it's like we've literally seen 2 games so far with Graham Potter. You know, they played the first initial game against RB Salzburg in the Champions League, and there was a 1-1 draw. And then we just saw today playing against Crystal Palace, a 90th minute winner by Conor Gallagher. So, but wasn't overall a real impressive performance outside of that. So I think looking forward with Graham Potter, we don't know exactly where he's going, what he really wants to do with this team. You know what I'm saying? Like the formation, the tactics, we don't know 100%. I just know, obviously, he's interested in Nkunku, and he's already got the medical, you know, it's already in the works. But I just don't know exactly where he's going to play or anything like that, because I don't even know exactly what Graham Potter is thinking, because he hasn't really been in here long enough to fully get his tactics in yet. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's like one of them things. This is obviously a signing. Wherever you want to play him, it's a great signing. You know what I mean? That's my overall takeaway. And I just don't know exactly where he's going to fit in yet. But you got to get Christopher Nkunku if you have the opportunity, because if we don't get him, another club is. You know what I'm saying? Bayern, PSG. He originally came from PSG. They let him go. Big mistake. You know what I mean? PSG will just come calling back. They want him back. If Chelsea is already able to get this medical, I heard that the transfer fee is not all agreed yet. They need to get that over the line. And Nkunku wants to come here. Just find a way to get him here, and then we'll deal with the rest of the tactical stuff later. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. How much do you think he would be? How much do you think that they're probably asking?
Well, the report was that like he does have a release clause next season that can be activated for $60 million, which is an absolute steal. That's literally a steal. But some reports are saying that Chelsea, to make sure the deal gets over the line, they're willing to pay a little bit more than the release clause. Actually, they might be willing to pay up
90, 100.
80 they might be willing to pay like 80 million,
Yeah,
you know,
like,
a little bit extra.
Try not to spend 100 million.
A little bit extra just to make sure, because there are still, even though the medical has already happened with him and Chelsea, other teams, you know, are still trying to get him because of how good he's been performing. So Chelsea, they want to get this deal over the line as soon as possible. So reports are saying that they might just be willing to pay 80 million just to lock it in.
Just to lock it in, yeah.
And Todd Bowley got the money. Sign the check. Sign the check, son. You know what I mean? You sign the check, send it over to Leipzig, and let them do the rest. You know what I'm saying? Because we need this guy. This has been what I have been crying for Chelsea to get for years. You know?
Yeah. Let's get into the NBA now. Y'all ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Bet we got Ben Simmons. He said on an interview that he was just doing the right thing, and that when he was going up for the layup and he dished it off, or whether he was trying to dunk it,
that he didn't. Basically, that the last game he played with the Sixers, he did not know it was Trae Young. He said, "quote unquote,"
exactly.
It was. I just saw a body, so he passed it off, and basically saying that he just saw a man closing him out, and passed it out. But still, him saying that doesn't change the fact that literally he was still avoiding the contact, because no matter what, that could be me out there. We're gonna foul Ben Simmons, and Ben Simmons knows that, so that's why he's passing it. Mm-hmm. It's not like, oh my God, like Michael Jordan's closing me out right now. Like, dude, he knows that they're gonna foul him and send him to the line. He doesn't want to take those free throws.
Free throws, of course. We talked about
that.
that.
and not in the worst of it, it's Trae Young, man. Like if you're Ben Simmons, you're 6'10", like what, 6'10", 250 pounds? Like, dude,
exactly.
I don't care who that is. You're going in there with head of steam. One, Trae Young's closing out, but he's not, you already have a start on him. No matter who that is, you should be going up and taking that.
Exactly.
You should, either get if you can't get the N1, you're getting fouled. You go to the line. But obviously, it's Ben Simmons, and how he was playing through that entire series. He wanted nothing to do with that.
He was playing passive the whole series. So like when you think about that particular moment, it doesn't surprise you. You know what I'm saying? Why he did that?
Exactly.
Because he knew he gets fouled there. It's almost like hack a Shaq. He gets fouled there. That's what they want you to go to the free throw line. They would prefer you do that than dish it out to the 3-point shooter who's more than likely going to make that. So I'm not buying it. You know what I mean? I'm not buying it.
Like you can explain it like that, but it doesn't change the fact that
he needs to get better at his free throws.
You've been in the league for what, 5 years, man? Like, how long you been in the league? And
too many.
You still have these problems to where you don't want to shoot, and I think that it's not purely his fault. I think a lot of the fault is toward the Sixers, because
coaching.
The coaching, they've been calling and being like, Ben Simmons, no, you don't have to shoot. You do so many other things. No, you have to fucking shoot. Dude, like, you have to evolve and be that next level superstar. You have to be able to be more than like a one dynamic scorer. It's like, oh, I'm just gonna go out there, because like now that people know his free throw shooting's not there, it completely affects how he scores now, because like, he drives to the basket. Imagine not being able to drive. It's like what happened to Giannis, that you just foul him or you build a wall. So it's like exactly. You have to evolve your game, and hopefully at the Nets he can do that, because I want to see Ben Simmons. It's too much of good talent to waste.
That's what that's been the story of his whole career.
Just for like not him choosing that he does not want to learn to shoot, and he doesn't trust his shooting. It's like, dude, just put in the work, get a shooting coach, and just do it. Like everybody does it. Like, dude.
He needs to be sitting there, 1,000 shots a day.
1,000 shots a day, bro.
1,000 shots a day.
You're not leaving the fucking gym.
Lock yourself
Lock him in the gym
until he puts in that work. You know what I mean? That's what it takes. That's what it takes.
So overall, we can all agree that like he just needs to get better at his free throws.
Yeah,
and just shooting in general.
In general,
yeah,
but
especially free throws. Yeah,
like they're free throws. Freeze in the name, man. Like, bro, just take them.
Yeah,
but yeah.
Bet. So let's talk about Zion Williamson and what his career is going to be next season.
Zion looking
crazy,
scary.
Yeah,
scary Zion.
Hours.
Scary hours with Zion.
The Pelicans are expected to perform well
when they,
because they already have been doing good.
Yeah, when they compared the two pictures from last year and this current year, this dude looks like, like Dwayne The Rock Johnson, man. Like, dude, he's built, he's lean, and he's as bouncy, he's as sprinty, he's as fast as he's ever been. And he's coming back to a team that was pretty damn good. Like, they took the Suns to 6 games. Like, dude, they've been playing very well with the addition of CJ McCollum. And already Brandon Ingram still developing. They're going to get Zion back. They already had Jose, what's his name? Alvarado. And they're just getting a deeper team. And with Zion, like Zion, when he's fit, when he's playing, he's a top 10 player. Like, he's a player efficiency prince. Like, he's 60%. He only gets good shots. Like, to add someone like that to the Pelicans is just like, They could be a contender. Like, they're easily, if they're not a sleeper. I wouldn't say they're a sleeper just because they have so many good players. It's kind of dumb to say, oh, they're a sleeper. But the West is the West. It's stacked. But I wouldn't be surprised if they're like a top 3 seed.
Ooh.
If they're up there, because it's just you have
you got a lot of competition.
Guys, yeah. You got a lot of competition, but like you have like that guy. You have a top 10 player, and then you have 2 really really good players.
Yeah.
Like a not a big 3, but
I mean
a solid 3. Like, I don't know a lot of other teams in the league that have a 3 players that good.
Yeah. Well, I think there's a few interesting things that have been coming out about this situation. First and foremost, at practice, there has been some reports about how Zion's been playing. They're saying specifically about Zion's performance, he's moving quicker. We're making quicker decisions, and that's not only running and how he moves laterally and all that, but literally on the ball. You know what I mean? With the ball. He's making quicker decisions. He's passing it off or he's taking it to the rack. You know what I'm saying? He's deciding what he's doing, and then he's going ahead and doing it. And I think that's one of the biggest takeaways so far from practice. But I think the biggest thing for the Pelicans is going to be how Brandon Ingram is able to adjust, with Zion. Obviously, we've seen them play together before, but obviously last season we kind of saw Brandon Ingram dominate that mid-range game. He almost had one of the most lethal mid-range games in the whole league. But literally, it's more threes are going to be taken by Brandon Ingram this season, despite the fact he has an elite mid-range game. He's probably going to have to take less mid-range shots, more threes, just because Zion, and he's going to require more touches. He's going to be taking up that kind of spot where B.I. was. And, last season he was taking 4.1 attempts per game, connecting on 32% of them. And that was his worst 3-point shooting percentage since his rookie season. So he's going to have to take more threes, but last season he was shooting the worst in his whole career with the 3-point percentage. So I'm not saying it's guaranteed that he's going to have another down year with the 3, but I'm just saying how this team goes is going to kind of depend on how BI is able to adjust, with that 3 ball and all other things included, you know what I'm saying, with Zion.
And I do think that's a great analysis with that, but also the fact that Zion's coming back. When Zion's on the court, everybody knows a lot of the team's going to be looking to Zion. So Brandon Ingram's gonna have less chances, but he's gonna be more open,
exactly,
less contested.
Yeah.
So I think we could see, maybe his attempts go down, but his percentages are gonna go up. Because he's gonna be wide open.
Yeah. And if that's the case, then
I think that's what's good. That's what's gonna happen because
I think some teams are gonna.
Teams are gonna have to. You're gonna have to double Zion Williamson soon as he goes past the 3-point line. Send the second guy.
But they're not gonna sleep on Brandon Ingram though. I don't think.
Absolutely not. But then,
they're gonna make him prove himself.
When you look at Brandon Ingram,
True.
then you got CJ McCollum, and CJ McCollum can cook.
Yeah,
he's a guy who. Dude, he's a dynamic scorer.
We're talking about a guy, him and Dan. We remember what they were.
Right hand man.
They were the second best backcourt in the league.
And CJ McCollum doesn't have near as much pressure as he did then.
Yeah,
he's kind of the third guy on this team.
He's the third guy, and he's like the oldest out of them, so he's kind of like
the vet.
He's the vet to these 2 like monsters of And I think he's going to be exactly what they need to calm him down. I wish the fucking Heat got him. I'm still baffled how CJ McCollum got traded for peanuts.
Yeah,
and like literally the Blazers was just like, bro. What do you want for him? Fucking, like chips in a Coke, or fucking take him. Yeah. Like, dude, what? But, I guess, congrats to the Pelicans that they have a great team now. They're really good. I think this team right now, I know we haven't seen them play, on paper, is probably the best team they had even since the AD days. Even
yeah.
when they had AD and Boogie.
AD and Boogie.
I think this is a better team, just because it fits with this current style of the NBA where they have two great mid-range shooters. CJ's a good 3-point shooter. BI.
We're gonna see.
He's good.
Like I said,
he's all right at 3.
Like I said, we're gonna see, and you're saying he might elevate.
But he has that mid-range game.
Elite
and then we have
mid-range game.
the ultimate paint killer. That's fucking Zion, the guy who's basically gonna hit his head on the freaking backboard.
And we even saw at certain points in his rookie season, Zion Williamson, shooting the 3 ball effectively.
If you leave him wide open, he'll take it.
So it'll be.
You can't just build a wall on Zion.
And obviously, I don't think. Zion is going to take too many threes, but you can't leave him open, and he
can get hot,
and he's going to keep the defense honest.
Yeah,
and he's going to make you spread the floor. He's going to make you defend him as soon as you get to that 3-point line. You can't just take 5 steps back and say, "Hey,
just shoot it."
You can't do that with Zion Williamson. We saw it. He's going to make you pay. So he's going to make you defend. And Zion Williamson, man, for somebody that big, he just moves incredibly different.
He's so fast.
There's not look. I'm almost kind of scared for the whatever big man is forced to guard Zion Williamson because he might just get cooked.
No,
there's gonna be some highlight reel plays.
There's only gonna be a couple guys, and there's like only maybe maybe 3 or 4 people in the league that could possibly just throw him a little bit off. But most of the way that's gonna be able to keep him at bay, you're gonna have to throw doubles at him. You're gonna throw double teams at him. Try and get the ball as soon as he touches the ball. Make him give up the ball. Because that's what it's going to take. Because Zion, I mean, he was having stats that were already comparable to early LeBron and early Michael Jordan.
He was having an incredible start.
This guy is the real deal, and there's no doubt.
Yeah, and a lot of people, obviously no one forgot about him per se, but
it's been a while.
But it's been a while.
It was scary because it was like there was a feeling that we have this talent, this one in a lifetime talent, but we might not be able to see it at its full potential,
at its full peak,
because he's already having trouble with his feet. He was already getting injured. He had a little overweight, but I think this is a nice fresh air. It's like, thank God we're gonna be able to see Zion. Because I'm gonna be circling anytime I get to see Zion versus Giannis. Gotta see it.
I was gonna say that.
I gotta see it. Gotta see the freak versus another freak. It's just shit you have to see. Zion versus LeBron. It's just shit you have to see.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna want to see it.
Yeah.
Bet.
Taking LeBron.
Not LeBron.
So let's get into Ryan Garcia versus Tank Davis. Well, they're not
confirmed.
They're not confirmed yet.
But they had an altercation.
They've been
allegedly
chirping at each other.
Allegedly.
Yes, but allegedly this time in the club, Tank Davis snatches Ryan Garcia's chain. Obviously, he's gonna take offense to that.
Took his chain.
And now, obviously, some people are saying, "Oh, is this promo for the? They're about to agree to a fight? Is this kind of the first promo? Blah blah blah." I don't know if that's the case, but I'm interested. Do you think this fight will happen? And if it does happen, what are you thinking about it?
I don't think it's gonna be the next thing we see. I don't think we're gonna hear it gets announced within the coming months. I think they're both gonna have one more fight, and then I'm just hoping basically that they fight. Because with boxing, there's always the politics. Is that he's Showtime, one's with another promotion. It sucks when it comes to stuff like that. But this is just a fight we have to see. We've been seeing these guys talk shit for about 5 days,
years.
So long.
It's been so long.
It's about time that they get in.
And it's time
ring.
they fight, dude. Because we want to see the best fight the best, dude. It's just shit we have to see. And this fight would be big. It'd be huge.
Oh, huge.
It's Ryan Garcia versus Tank. Floyd Mayweather's guy. It's shit we have to see.
We gotta see it.
And if they did fight, I think Tank. It wouldn't be easy, but I think Tank KOs him within 5, knocks him out, because Ryan Garcia is hittable, and you don't want to be hit by Tank.
Oh yeah,
you don't want to be hit.
Fact.
I don't.
And I think
he's quick on his feet.
Yeah. He Tank can fight on the inside. He's a more dynamic fighter. He can He can fight on the back foot. I don't think Ryan Garcia can fight on the back foot. I think, Ryan's a very good counter puncher. He wants to get you with a left. There hasn't been a KO Ryan's had that hasn't been with his left, which it can be like, oh my God, he's like that left is like a killer, but it's also could be he's a bit one-dimensional. Like that's kind of the shot that's his only hope. It's kind of a bit of the Conor McGregor thing. It's like, he has to get you with the left or he's not going to win. But Tank it could be a right uppercut, left straight,
He's
right
diverse.
straight. He could put you down with a jab, and he can string combinations to get you out of there. And I just think that Tank's gonna be harder to hit, and Ryan's easier to hit. So I'm going Tank by knockout.
And obviously, this is a fight. It's not obviously happening anytime soon, confirmed or whatever. But do you think that this will happen within the next year?
Not like next year.
Like within the next year per se. You know what I mean?
I don't think so. I just maybe end of next year. But if like everything lines up, but with how gay boxing is, I'm just gonna say it probably doesn't happen. But I really hope it does. Mm-hmm. It's something we have to see. I mean, we're all gonna fucking watch it. Like, who's not gonna fucking watch that?
I think everyone's watching it.
Like, bro, it's gonna be crazy. But we just have to hope the promotions get together, they have a good conversation. No one overprices themselves, because that's another thing that's wrong with Ryan Garcia.
Especially with these two guys.
Yeah, like
saying they're both gonna want
Ryan Garcia wants like champion, like world champion money, but he's not a world champion. That's the problem. That he wants more money than what Tank would get. Yeah. That's not going to happen. I get Ryan's a big sell, but you can't demand, like, if you want to be champion, you take what's given to you. Like,
that's what Teo said.
Teo took the minimum to fight Lomachenko. Yep. No one wants to fight fucking Lomachenko. Teo says,
did it.
I'll take the absolute minimum because he wants to be champion. That's something I think that Ryan should want. But that's another thing. Like, Canelo has said it when he trained with Canelo's team, that Canelo said, I don't know if Ryan Garcia is really about it. And he said, like, his mental space isn't really right. I don't want to pick on him for having mental illness or any like thing, but Ryan Garcia did take a break because he took a break from boxing because he said he just needed it for his mental health. And I hate to be that guy, but as soon as you see that, it's just blood in the water. I don't know if he's really all about it like Tank is. Like Tank is just like, it's like Fort Knox up here, dude. You're not getting in there. And I just, his will to win is way more than Ryan Garcia is, because I know Tank, if he's not a world champion boxer, then he's nothing. Ryan, if he's not a world champion, he's something. He's Instagram, he's famous, he can go on whose ever podcast he wants. Like he's in with the Pauls, he's this social media guy.
Yeah, he is.
Tank doesn't care for it. He just
wants to win.
He just wants to fight, and he wants to win.
Same thing with Teo. He wants to win.
Same thing with Teo. It's like, that's the only thing I don't really. And I'm not even saying that Ryan's bad, but I just don't think he's going to be the world champion.
So I think one thing, like, obviously you're saying they might not potentially be fighting each other anytime soon, but these are two guys that Teo could potentially fight. So do we think it's more likely that fight with Teo potentially fighting one of these two is more likely than these two actually fighting anytime soon?
I don't think so. I think Teo is right now a little bit I think he's a little bit of a weight class above, so they would have to come meet him. I think he's more a little bit into like a 140. These guys are like 135. I know it's like 5 pounds, but like it's just how this shit is.
Yeah.
And I know Teo isn't going to be chasing them. Like Ryan Garcia is going to really want to have to go out of his way to fight Teo. And I don't know if he really wants to do that. I don't know if he wants that. And so I think out of all the fights that are on the table, Lomachenko, Devin Haney, all these guys, I think this is the most likely one to happen just because it's been talked about. Yeah, with Tank and Ryan Garcia, it's the most likely one to happen. But it's hard to get these top guys to
actually fight.
Yeah, because it's not like the UFC where
logistics.
Logistics
is play more into a role.
Yeah,
and in boxing, you can kind of purposely avoid a guy that you might know.
That's why there is so many undefeated records in boxing. That's why me personally, I don't really respect. It's not I don't respect undefeated. It's like if someone's undefeated, I'm not gonna be like, oh my god, they're undefeated.
Who did he fight?
There's like 50 undefeated people. Like. Because if you have losses in your thing, you're taking the best of the best. You're fighting actually good people.
Unless you lose into some ass,
Yeah, I mean,
But if you're losing to some ass, you're probably not even in you're not even in the discussion in the first place.
Lomachenko is one of the greatest of all time, and he has he has more than one loss. Mm-hmm. Like it's just like, but they care a lot about that. Like I feel like Ryan cares a lot about it. Like Devin Haney cares a lot about it. like being undefeated. So they like to cherry pick. Well, okay, I'll fight this guy this time. If it were all one governing body, which will never happen, sadly, as much as I want it to happen, to be all under one sanction, these guys can pick and choose whatever the fuck they want. Because one, there's like a billion belts. There's a fucking a super belt, and then there's a middle belt, there's a regular belt. Like, it's so fucking dumb.
There's just so much.
There's just so many belts. So there's no like, real forcing that, okay, like, oh damn, there's no escaping, you have to fight Ryan next. Or you have to fight Tank. So I think out of them all, that's the most likely one, but
even that one you're saying.
I don't even think that one will happen.
Which is
unfortunately.
It's kind of sad, I would say.
It sucks.
Like
we have our fingers crossed.
Not only is it just unbelievably box office, these two big names or whatever, but this is the best of the best. In any sport, whether it's football, basketball, whatever, you want to see the best of the best play. And that's what we all want to see.
Yeah.
And like you said, in boxing, unfortunately, it doesn't always happen.
Yeah, because there's so much shit that goes into it.
And when it does happen, that's why we all appreciate it.
Mostly gets fucked up with the money. That's like 99.9% of the time it gets fucked up because of the money.
Yeah.
That's it. But
these two guys, they love boxing, but they also want to get that money.
Yeah, I hope they come to a fair amount, and let's see who's the best. That's all I care about.
And I think you can't just keep having these altercations happen out in the real world.
Yeah.
Like chain snatching and blah blah blah. Look, if y'all have this beef or whatever, man, if y'all really hate each other, y'all are gonna look besides the money.
Yeah, you gotta
fight. And you're just gonna be like, bruh. Boxing.
Been talking shit for years.
This is my only opportunity where I can get.
I can
legally knock you out, bro. If I'm Tank and I hate Ryan Garcia as much as it seems, bro, I'm like, bro, give me this. Like, I'll do anything. I'll fight for free. I'll fight for free.
Yeah.
And, you know what I mean? So, and Ryan, I don't know if Ryan Garcia feels the exact same way. Maybe not. Maybe. Obviously, I don't think he likes Tank Davis, but I don't. No,
but what G was saying earlier, though, that plays in a role. Like Ryan Garcia just doesn't have the determination to want to be the champion.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I don't think he does.
So you think Ryan Garcia will hold back this fight?
I think the only person that would be like kind of like out of it would be Ryan Garcia, because Ryan Garcia has done this for
after he just got his chain snapped.
Yeah, like dude, he'll be saying I want to fight Tank, I want to fight Tank,
and then he won't actually follow through.
No, like he'll say 100% want to fight Tank, but for this much. So it's kind of like a thing to where it's out of his hands, be like, oh, I'll fight Tank, just give me. Like
so it makes
million.
it seem like he wants to fight him, but
he's wanting to fight him, but he's outpricing himself. Of course. So it's kind of like, well, they don't want to pay me his money. Well, dude, you're not a world champion.
You're not even worth that
for that much money. Like, dude, just fight him.
Yeah,
that's the problem. That's been delaying this fight forever.
Yeah,
but hopefully, it gets done. They reach a price to sign. That's good enough. We'll fucking fight.
Yeah,
because. I'm just sick and tired. I'm almost getting fucking tired of these people just talking shit to each other. It's like, bro, just fight, man.
Just fight.
Like, there's no reason for you guys not to be fighting. They could sell out Madison Square Garden. They can go to wherever the hell they want. Yeah. They can sell it out.
Oh yeah.
So we want to see it. We have to see it.
Yeah, 100%. And it'll be not a disgrace, but it'll just be disappointing if it doesn't happen.
Yeah.
Ever. You know what I'm saying? For boxing and just everyone in general. This is a fight we all want to see, and. We'll probably be updating y'all with any updates on this potential fight on the podcast,
Absolutely.
So facts. So y'all ready to shoot us straight into music?
What we got?
Exactly.
Big 30's album.
Yeah, Big 30.
Big 30.
I wanted to hear your opinion on this, G.
I think I'm not as fit to do it as Zach, so I think I gotta tag it on.
Tag it on to Zach?
I'm gonna tag it on to Zach. I think he's more fit to talk about Big 30.
All right, well, specifically with Big 30, this is a guy, look, within this last kind of 2021, 2022 kind of time, I've become a pretty decent fan of Big 30, and I was excited to see what he was kind of putting together with this album. And, we heard the singles, Scared of Us, with Hot Boy. We heard, he had a single, Dead Guys. He had some good singles, I would say the expectations were almost not through the roof, but they were up there because, wow, like these singles, they kind of blew us away. And then we kind of got to seeing the rest of the album, and we didn't see many features, and we were like, okay, I don't know. And then we kind of listened to it, and my main takeaway from the album was that it's not bad. It's just it didn't meet the heights of the singles. He dropped the best pieces of work that he put on the album as the singles.
I can completely agree.
And then the rest of the project, it's not bad. It's just not to that level. You know what I'm saying?
That's exactly what I think.
It's Scared of Us. Like, you hear that song, great sample, unbelievable. The music video, unbelievable. Hot Boy goes crazy. It's a good, really, really good song. And then you just hear some of the other songs on here. You know, he had the Pooh Shiesty feature. Even that song wasn't anything too special. You know, I was kind of impressed, per se, with Big Homie G and Lil Jeremy. I didn't really know much about their work or anything like that. And I think that they held their own on the album. And then one almost shocking thing, ATL Jacob, I thought he was just on there to be a feature as a producer. And then I click on that song, and he's rapping, and I was like, what? And I'm not going to sit up here and act like ATL Jacob is a great rapper after hearing that. But, like, he wasn't as bad as I, like, given that I didn't even know he was going to be rapping, it wasn't that bad.
One thing I told you about ATL Jacob rapping, though, is that I prefer him producing, man. He's just taking away the time that he could be producing a fire-ass beat
like
for Drake or Future.
Exactly. Because this is the guy who produced Wait For You. Yeah.
So he could be spending that time making
the Wait For You Part 2.
Rather than spending time making
like, Wait For You is my second most listened to song of all time.
Exactly.
Exactly.
So he could be making more songs, like more beats for those songs, rather than in the booth rapping, making mid bars.
Yeah. Exactly. And this is something like, look, it's not uncommon. You know, this is kind of getting onto a whole nother thing, but it's not uncommon to see producers want to get into the actual rap game with, you know, spitting their own verses. You know, we've seen it with, you know, Pierre Bourne.
That's how Nav started.
Most specifically Nav, you know, he kind of transitioned. But for the guys, and I'm going to, you know, speak on specifically Pierre Bourne, you know, it's literally the same thing that you kind of said. Look, Pierre is one of, if not the best producer, you know, he's up there with Metro, I would say, top 2 in the game. And, like, he said on interviews, you know, he saves his best beats for his own work. And I'm sitting there like, bruh, send that beat to somebody else, man. This is almost like, this is one of the best beats I've ever heard, bro. Do not rap on this, bro.
Send it to Uzi.
It's not that you're bad. Just send it to somebody else, man. Like we know what you can do as a producer, and it's not that you're a bad artist, and the same thing goes for ATL Jacob. It's not that you're a bad artist. It's just like, we know where your very best
true
at.
Talent.
Your true talent is making those beats and making, you know, Wait For You, making, you know, for Pierre Bourne's case, we know how many fucking incredible beats he's made, how many amazing songs he's made. Don't save those beats for yourself, man. Send them away. Yeah. Let them get to the guys, you know, like Drake, you know, Playboi Carti, Uzi, you know, Gunna. He's you know, locked up right now, but he might be getting out. But you know, guys like that, send those beats to those guys and let them do their thing, because we know what they can do. You know what I'm saying? And that's just my overall thoughts on producers rapping. I'm not gonna lie. If you're a really good producer, man, just stick to the beats.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
So circling back, so Blue, did you share the same thing about Big 30's album, that you thought it was just kind of mid?
Yeah, I shared the same opinions as Zach, man. It was just kind of mid in the singles leading up to it, man. That Hot Boy Scared of Us, man.
Incredible song.
And the music video with the whole paintball and all that, man, it was amazing. But then, like, to hear, like, just going through the album, like, song by song, it was just like, it's all right, but it's not nothing like head banging, like you want to go out, dance to, or whatever it is, man. It's just, this is not it. And however, though, I will agree with another point. I will agree with you on this, that I was very surprised by the features that were on this album and how well they performed. Like Lil Jamie and Big Homie G. I didn't know who the hell they were. Yeah. And I'm sure you didn't either.
No, I didn't. I said
but
that. But
now, like, I actually want to look them up and see who they are and what music they have. And, you know, so Big 30 put on some people with this album.
He did.
But it just didn't perform as well as I thought it did because of the singles and how well they did.
Exactly.
Perform, so.
And one thing, like, outside of the single, you know, with Hot Boy and then, like, just listening to this album front to back, it was like, damn, this kind of feels like one big song almost. You know what I'm saying? Like, there wasn't that much variation. Kind of was rapping the same, and it's not the same beats, but it's like, outside of Scared of Us with Hot Boy, it was a very similar beat. And
very true.
And that's why when you get to that song on the album, it's like so different, and it sounds incredible, because it's like, you're going from, you know, boom, 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 and then it's like, da-da-na-na-na. And it's like, it's melodic, it sounds good. And then they go crazy on it, and it's like, wow. And then you kind of, after that song, you go back, and it's like, wow, the same old thing. You know what I'm saying? So it got a little bit repetitive. But this is Big 30's, like, first official album, you know? So it's like, you can see he cemented himself in the game, and a lot of people, are predicting, and it's not going to sell crazy, but and I'm also predicting this. I think it's probably going to sell around 35, 40K first week. That's my prediction for it, and that's not bad for Big 30. His first ever album.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm thinking 20K. Solid 20K. Because the way the numbers have changed now, it's just so much harder to get to hit those big numbers. And I'm not saying 40, 50K is huge, anything huge, but it's just harder to get those big numbers. So yeah, I'm thinking 20K. Because Nav only sold
60.
60. So
60-ish,
and I was predicting that to go
crazy,
sky through the roof.
Yeah.
So.
But I did have something else that I think what you guys should start doing. I think you should make a doc, and every album you talk about on the pod, you should rate it out of 10, and just have a big old list of we've ran through this one. So that's what I kind of want. So out of 10, what would you rate this one?
I like that.
Yeah, that is a good concept. Big 30's
album.
So
you can have it all there. So it's kind of I gave this album a 6.
That's what I'm gonna rate it.
Is it as that? Yeah.
6.
6 out of 10.
Yeah, 6.5.
And we're not doing any points or some shit. It has to be fucking no 6.5.
All right, then
bullshit.
6. Then 6.
I want to say 7, but 6. Yeah, 6 definitely. A solid 6.
Yeah, it's one of them things. I probably going into the album, I expected a 7, 8,
or even an 8.
But after listening to it, honestly, and this is coming as a Big 30 fan, I might have to re-listen to it, and my opinion might change. But I'm gonna give it a 5.
So first initial top 5.
5.
It could change because more albums come out. From him or even other artists, it changes. It's the same thing where anything we rank anything. I rank fucking movies. Dude, my perception, my rankings always change.
Yeah,
all the time with more work because this was a way more of a mid. Yeah, and I thought this one was a mid. Yeah. And so it elevates that one a bit more.
Yeah, so, and some of these songs on this album, I might have kind of slept on them the first time, and it might grow on me.
Facts.
Might have to re-listen to some of them in the car, and maybe the vibe, a lot of the music it could just be vibe. Yeah, so one of them songs I'm gonna have to re-listen to it in the car, and maybe I'll be oh, I slept on that song. I gotta
dude, Zach before he would spam me with TSU. He would send me TSU all the time from Certified Lover Boy.
TSU Drake.
And at first I was like, dude, this shit's so dog shit. I fucking hate it.
I always said it was a good song.
He said it was a good song, but then
Move Out of State.
It took me a while, bro, and then I started listening. I was like, damn, this shit's fire. So it's you have
it grows on you.
The first initial take is always first impressions 5 and a 6, but over time it could get up.
It could get better.
Could it get better? Or
however, one of the only reasons why we gave it a 5 or a 6 is because of the singles.
And if you asked me that question, what do you think out of 10 Big 30's albums going to be after I first listened to Scared of Us? Well, I would have said, damn, this might be a 9 or a 10. This might be a classic. But then, okay, we got the rest of it. Okay, well, no.
Out of curiosity, a little bit off topic, what do you guys think is what's the bar? What's a 10 to you guys? Just from the top of your head. What's a 10 album?
Probably our favorite album.
Love is Rage 2.
Yeah, what was
Love is Rage 2.
His favorite's Love is Rage 2. Mine's is Huncho Jack Huncho.
Okay.
That's yeah.
So I just want to know what's the bar for you? This is
funny enough. Both of those albums dropped 2017. Or
2017 was a time for music.
Yeah, it was. That's and there's been other 10s. I would say I'd have to really sit there.
Yeah, of course, there's been other 10s.
Yeah, but I just want to know
off the top of my head, Love is Rage 2 for me.
AI Youngboy 2.
That's another
10.
10? I don't know about a 10. I'd have to think about it. I'd have to really go back and look at that track.
You're right.
Off the top of my head, though, you just asked me for a random album. I know it's a 10. That's what I'll give you.
And I would say Huncho Jack Huncho.
That might be something we have to touch upon in a later episode, though.
It's something we could always incorporate later. I'd be interested to make this shit maybe a poll, future polls and stuff to see what people are fucking with. Because I know everybody's so different, dude. Because your number one's gonna be different than my number one. But we're all gonna enjoy different shit. So I think it's something it'd be cool to start trying to implement. Yeah,
and for anybody watching at this point, let us know in the comments down below anything that y'all want us to improve on in this particular concept right here that you just heard. What do y'all think about that? Let us know in the comments down below. But with that being said, are y'all ready to transition on to the next artist that DaBaby that we want to talk about?
Yeah.
Well, we got DaBaby, and he dropped his new album last week. Blame It on Baby 2. Not a lot of people knew about it. Blah blah blah. For whatever reason that is. First week sales came out for the album, and DaBaby sold 17K first week with this album. So the question that I ask to either of y'all, is DaBaby blackballed by the industry?
What do you think?
I can agree that he's blackballed but he's only blackballed because the instances that he's done, like with all the fighting and the comments that he made at Rolling Loud. And I'm not saying that he deserves the blackball. I'm just saying that's just the culture that we're living in nowadays.
Yeah.
So you're obviously going to get blackballed because the main hot artists like Lil Baby and like, sure, though maybe Lil Baby will work with him, but other artists will not want to feel like they want to, give them a feature because it could harm their own personal reputation.
And he did have no features on this tape. You know what I mean? Which is
Damn.
another thing to keep
So
in mind.
yeah, no features. So
Like,
it's just what it is.
I just don't believe in stuff like that. Like I think like are you like a hardcore DaBaby fan or no? You just like
Yeah, I listen. I'm not a hardcore DaBaby fan, but one thing I can't agree with is not all like the blackball. It's not all his fault because YoungBoy is one of the most blackballed artists in the industry,
I agree.
and he sells the most.
Yeah.
Period. Like he sells the most. He's up there with Drake.
Yeah, that's why I just don't believe in it.
So even though you are blackballed, like there's definitely an opportunity for you to definitely get high amount of sales, especially because it's DaBaby. We're not talking about some random artist that just came off the street and you're and not making fun of your local artist or whatever. You're just your local artist that just came off the street, man. Your local artist that came off the street corner, man. You know what I'm saying? Who maybe not be putting in the work and whatever. But yeah, man, it's DaBaby. He's a known name. So for him to only be selling 17K, it's just it's just ridiculous.
I think there was a little bit of a decline, just a little bit.
And I can agree.
I think there's more stuff that goes into it, like promoting it, and obviously no features and stuff. But not saying it's you, but I feel like it's a little bit of a weak thing, like DaBaby fans would say, is like, oh, he's not selling because he's he's blackballed. Like, nah, man.
Yeah.
It's just like it just happened. He just put out a stinker, bro. Like it just wasn't his best work, and that's all right. Like maybe the next out, I'm gonna say obviously his next album's gonna be better than this one. Because if it's not better than this one, then bro, you gotta look at another career.
Yeah,
he's falling off.
Like you're gonna just have to keep showing up to clubs
off.
for $15,000, bro. Like just show up to clubs.
One thing I just wanted to get one point across is that we love local artists on this channel. Like, well,
no, we love them. No, and yeah.
There's just some who underperform, and
they're not DaBaby.
Oh yeah, at the end of the day, they're not DaBaby. They don't have the same status in the game. You know what I mean?
You get paid $15,000 just for showing up to clubs.
Exactly.
Yeah. And even if DaBaby is blackballed to the extent of like he can't get features or whatever,
he shouldn't be selling 17K.
Yes, but
there's no way.
There ain't no blackballing when you're offering money. If DaBaby really wanted to get some hot features or whatever, and they were like, I don't know if I can do that. Look, DaBaby, hey, I got $500K for you, Future, man. Come on my album. Feature. And he's taking that. You know what I'm saying? DaBaby got that kind of bread. He's got that label support.
I'm gonna be real though. Not everyone's taking that 500K.
Bro.
But like he has no features on his album. Someone's taking it. Someone's gonna take it. One hot artist would take it.
But you gotta realize,
and he just dropped the tape with YoungBoy.
That's what I'm saying though. This has been really affecting his career because the only person that he's really dropped with is YoungBoy, who's another artist who's been blackballed in the industry.
And also he dropped a single, not like anything special or whatever, but he dropped a song with Tory Lanez back in like 2020.
Who is also blackballed in the industry. So he's
kind of linking up only with blackballed artists.
It seems like he's not going to be able to link with a main artist like Future or Drake anytime soon.
Exactly.
And without these,
and we saw him have like smash hits with Roddy Rich.
And before these, I was going to say,
I couldn't imagine a Drake song, baby.
Before, not necessarily. I don't know.
I can imagine it.
I don't know if I want to call them shenanigans, but before these shenanigans, before
the shenanigans, yeah,
we would have expected a Drake and DaBaby song.
Oh yeah,
he was the number one artist.
I wish I could hear that.
He was hot. I mean, if you look at the statistics or whatever, he was selling 120K with back-to-back albums.
Exactly.
And then he drops the tape with YoungBoy, sells like 30K, 29K, I think it exactly was. And then this album sells 17K. I would say DaBaby is kind of blackballed, but that's not the reason for this album flopping.
Exactly.
I would say, look, does he probably not get all the support on the Apple Music playlist and stuff like that?
Hell no.
He doesn't, and that's why he's blackballed.
He's got to work harder.
But I just think, given everything that he's done, recently or somewhat recently, his name is in such a bad light. Nobody really wants to work with him. You're always at risk of, getting canceled just for working with them now.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? And I don't think anyone is willing to put their career on the line to be on Baby's new album, Baby on Baby 2. I just don't think anyone is going to say, you know what, I'm willing to get canceled so I can be on this album right here.
Exactly.
No one's thinking that. And I think the Baby, I don't think he knew he fell off this bad or whatever, but I think he thought he could probably prove it by himself, and he couldn't. He thought he could prove it with a solo album, and this is what you got.
So what would you guys rate this one? Out of 10.
One thing before I go into my personal rating is just like, if he couldn't even do it with Young Boy, who is literally selling the most in the industry, then
it might be over for him.
It might be over for him, man. This might be the downfall of the Baby's career, and it might be over for him.
I mean, bro, it's almost like a chore to listen to this whole album front to back.
Ooh, yeah.
Like, bro.
Damn it.
I listened to a couple of the songs.
Just the thought of even thinking about listening to almost 15 to 20 DaBaby songs back to back.
Now, what do you guys think is holding DaBaby back? Do you think it's that people say that he has that same repetitive flow and it's just the same thing over time?
Even when he was popping, I never quite got the appeal necessarily. Like, I understood why people fuck with it, and I did like some DaBaby songs, but I was sitting there like, bruh, I can't listen to this. I can't listen to this guy like crazy. Even when he was popping, but I could only listen to a couple songs, then I had to go switch on to somebody else.
Do you think he has to add more melody to his game, or what do you think it is?
I think
there has to be something holding him back.
It's a mixture of...
If he had a couple features, it'd help a little bit.
That's one thing.
If it's not pure
that's one thing.
If he had features and to bounce off a couple guys, it wouldn't be that as bad. You wouldn't get as repetitive and as tired of him.
But you got to understand the reason why it doesn't have those features is because he's acting out. But acting out is part of his rap persona.
And that's his persona. And that's his fault, though, at the same time. I'm not saying... every single mistake or whatever, he just makes an honest mistake or whatever, but you got to be self-aware and be like, bruh, I can't do no homophobic things at this Rolling Loud show.
Yeah,
I can't.
That shit was
fighting people out in the street.
And I can't, I kind of, with this particular instance, I kind of understand why he did it, because he thought it was going to help his sales or whatever, but I can't get on a song on my album and randomly bring up the fact that I got with Megan Thee Stallion when Tory Lanez was shooting her. Tory, he thought that bar was going to save the album or whatever and be like, oh, God.
I remember when you told me that bar, I remember the fact, I was like, why did he bring it up? Exactly.
Yeah. There was no reason to bring it up.
What do the two have to really do together necessarily?
It's so long in the past or whatever, that he didn't need to bring this up. And he's over here, he's literally rapping, and then he's like, boom, I was fucking on Megan Thee Stallion right on the day she got shot. And I was like, bro, why you even say that? There's no reason to even say that.
And the two don't correlate necessarily.
So he's literally, I think DaBaby is just trying to say or do anything he can to get back to where he was, kind of. And he thought that was going to be the one that we're like, oh, everyone's going to like this song. Or everyone's going to be talking about the song. People were. But even that, no one's talking about it anymore. You know what I'm saying? And that's why he sold 17K.
So what am I rating the album overall?
Out of 10?
The numbers, bro.
Get
to the numbers.
What you got?
Bro, I don't want to get on here and give nothing a 0.
Oh, Jesus.
But, I'm going to give it a... You said no halves?
No halves.
I'm going to give it a 1.
I have to give it a 1 as well. I'm not going to lie.
Bro, I couldn't get through the whole album, bro. If I can't even make it through the whole album... How could I give it anything above a 1? I'm not going to get up here. I think a 0 is basically you don't even, there's no words on the songs almost. It's just, you basically don't even drop the album, you get a 0. Yeah, if you drop something, you're going to get a 1.
You got to get a 1 for at least dropping an album.
Yeah, because some artists don't even do that.
He's like, bro.
Do we see his career turning up anytime soon?
Oh, no, it's done.
What about you, G? What do you think? Because I know you mess with DaBaby.
Yeah, I like a bit of DaBaby. I think he still has a cult. He still has a good little cult following. I think there's some changes he has to make. I think if he starts working with a couple more, gets a little more features, he's probably not gonna no longer. I think he's out of the running.
So do you think if he changes necessarily his lifestyle, will he still have those fans? Because he'll get the features.
Yeah.
But will he have those fans? Because some of them will be like, man, that's not DaBaby, man. He switched up, man.
I think
I honestly,
I don't think those are the fans you want, though.
I
It's
can
like,
agree
damn,
with you.
it's
I
like,
could agree.
damn,
That's a good point.
Exactly.
It's like fuck those fans. Where it's like, damn, my fans want me to get in gang wars and fight in the streets and shit. It's like, bro, what the fuck?
Exactly.
It's like chill. It's like chill out. It's like you have to like cater to like. It's not completely selling out or switching up. It's just that like you just have to do it smarter for your career. Like, do you want to have a long career, or do you want to like be that guy? Damn, you remember when the baby was popping? And then, you'd be like, oh, who the fuck's the baby anymore? Like, who is that guy?
Mm-hmm.
Like, so I think it's all going to come down to what he does. Like, this really is. Because if he keeps on going, let's say he doesn't change at all, then I think he's going to be done.
It's over.
Yeah, it's going to be over.
Yeah. I would agree. Like
That-
he's never
yeah.
gonna return to the heights of selling above 100,000 first week again.
If he stays.
Not even
healthy.
close. I don't think he's ever gonna sell above 50.
Even if he changes
Even if he changes?
Even if he changes, I can agree with Zach. I think the height of his career is over, but I still think he can make a career and pull out through the situation.
I think like he shouldn't like give up. I don't think he has to be like, bro, I gotta go get
I'm done rapping.
I don't think I gotta go get a Walmart job. I don't think he's saying that.
No.
But like he's gonna be one of those rappers where he's gonna sell. Like, he might sell more than 17K, but he's gonna be selling around that 20 to 40K range for the rest of his career, however long that is.
Even if he fixes up his situation and he starts getting crazy features.
No.
But if we're talking, like, if he's able to stick around in the game, and we're talking, maybe 3 years down the line or whatever, and he's been doing good, and people are starting to notice, like, okay, like, maybe he's fixing up his act, and he's moving in the right direction, then at that point, the media might start to lighten up on him, and then if that happens, then it just comes down to the music, and can you win over the public again with his music? And at that point, it's just going to come down to he's going to have to switch up the flow, and he's going to have to... He's going to have to make people fall in love with a new flow and be like, wow, like, I know maybe did some messed up things in the past, but I'm going to have to listen to this song. And then, well, okay, you get enough people fucking with it. I can see it.
And he doesn't have to change his whole flow completely. He just has to add some things.
Yeah.
Like,
And we've seen him try to become more melodic, because everyone kind of already said, got the only one flow. And, so is Melodic the Baby anything special or anything great? I'm not going to act like that. So I don't know exactly what he can bring out of the bag, but he might be able to find something in a new flow or a new producer that he finds. Hey, stranger things have happened than a guy coming back from this, but I personally don't see it.
So we got another new album out, Intergalactic.
Like Kid Cudi.
Kid Cudi.
Well, he's saying
Kid
that this
Cudi.
is the last album of Kid Cudi, and he's ready to turn the chapter on the name and go on to new things.
Wait, like you get a new name?
No, like he's retiring from music.
Yeah, he's done.
Yeah.
He said it might. I don't.
Like he said it.
He's not absolutely
don't
sure.
know.
He said it in the Zane Lowe Apple Music interview, and he said like, obviously he's never gonna stop making music completely, but like he's kind of done just making music 100% and just focusing on that, and now he really wants to focus more on other things and other endeavors. And he's always gonna make music, but he said don't expect anything from him like anytime soon or anything.
And
like,
honestly, like
This basically is his last album.
going out,
probably
I think it was good. Like going out.
as a going out album.
As a going out album, it was good.
Like, I'm not gonna sit up here and act like I'm a resident Kid Cudi stan or anything like that. But like, for what it's worth and what you kind of expect from Kid Cudi, it wasn't a bad project. There was some points where I'm sitting there and I'm like, this ain't great, and this is not good. And then there's some points where I was sitting there, I could kind of vibe to it, and it's not bad, or and Kid Cudi will always get you with the hums and how he sounds vocally on the production. He's always been one of those artists who just sounds really good in your ears.
Yeah.
But then there's sometimes where he's like, bro, what is he even saying? Or like his flow, like what is this? And then sometimes like the 2 Chainz song, and particularly like that beat was just like, what? Like, what even is this?
What's happening?
But 2 Chainz got it done though.
He kind of did. I wasn't really a big fan of that song. I was more of a fan of the Ty Dolla $ign feature. If anything.
Oh yeah. But 2 Chainz verse on that song was pretty good.
And I think for me, it's gonna be interesting to see how this album sells, because Kid Cudi, although he's been in the game, I think he's dropped 13 albums, or he's been in the game, something like that.
He's never had a number one.
And he's never had a number one album, and nobody really dropped against him this week. And if he's gonna get a number one album, this has to be it.
Exactly.
And I think the official projections haven't came out yet, but I would imagine when they do, Kid Cudi will be going number one. So, but I'm not going to assume, but I would think.
What are your projections on the album sales?
I mean, Kid Cudi is kind of up there
It's Kid
to a certain
Cudi.
extent. I don't know exactly what, and since it's his retirement album or whatever, I think the fans are going to go crazy for him and really try to get up this number one and buy it like crazy or do whatever they can. So I'm going to say like probably, and I know even with the sales projections changing and all that, I'm going to still say I'm going to give them, I'm not going to, 80 to 90K, 80 to 90K. Maybe 75. I don't know. So I didn't want to give too big of a range, and then you know what I mean. Basically, like I'm covering.
I'll be like, oh yeah, it's gonna be fucking 20K to
That's what I'm saying.
100K.
I wasn't trying to give too big of a range or whatever, but like I guess kind of around that 80K mark. I don't know. I would assume something maybe around there.
You liking that? You're not liking that.
I'm saying something similar around like 70. But thinking around 70.
And it's one of the things we've been getting kind of burned sometimes on these album sales projections or whatever. But
because the numbers have changed.
But the numbers
and
be
it's
changing,
hard.
and you never really know what to expect.
It's harder to get
it's hard to
get
predict
the numbers.
But you know, I think everyone is kind of hoping, you know, that this goal will go number. I'm not even the biggest fan per se, and I hope it goes number one for him because he deserves it. Look, you can't deny what he's done for the music industry, and he's been on legendary albums. Worked with Kanye a lot, even though they have beef now. You know, I can't imagine Kanye's career without a Kid Cudi. You know what I'm saying? And Kanye, you could argue the greatest rapper of all time, and this is arguably one of the most influential people to his career and helped him out so many times throughout the way. So you got to just appreciate him for that. Besides the fact his solo work, which you can look back on, Man on the Moon, the original one came out like 2009 or whatever. It's got, you know, Day and Night. That's got Soundtrack to My Life. That's got songs. Man, Joe Burrow said it had helped him through so many hard times. People say that about Kid Cudi. It's helped him through hard times. That's why he has such a core fan base that rocks with him. And I can respect the hell out of that.
Facts.
So, well, what would y'all rank this one out of 10? What are you feeling?
And obviously this is it's just a different genre per se, so it's hard to compare it to Big 30 or anything like that, or to Baby. Mm-hmm. But like for what it is as a more, I guess, R&B type, I don't know exactly what
R&B.
it is. Exactly what genre, I don't know exactly what you want to call it, but not hip hop. I would say it's like a 6. For Kid Cudi, for what it is, I'm going to give it a solid, like a 6. Maybe a 5, 6, yeah. 6. Give it a 6.
For what it is and what type of music it is, R&B, I'm going to give it a 7.
Okay. Fair. It's fair.
Yeah, and I honestly, if you had asked me before the album dropped, do you think that this is going to be a 6? Maybe I wouldn't have said nah, but then actually listening to it, taking the time, I could say it's a good body of work to end your career on. You know what I'm saying? And this
exactly. That's what I was saying in the beginning.
And it's hard, and like when you've been making music, and he alluded to this in the clip of the interview that I saw, man, when you've been making music for so long, it's hard, man, after a certain point, man. He said, I've said so many things on songs or whatever, it's like, what do I even say anymore? Like I've spoken my whole heart out into my music already. How much more can happen for me to say? Mm-hmm. And I think it's like one of them things. It's hard to make 13 good albums or whatever. You know what I'm saying? It's just not easy to do that. And Kid Cudi, I'm not gonna say he's done that.
I remember Lil Wayne said the same thing.
Exactly. So it's like after a certain point, it's not easy to make the same level of music or whatever, man. So for being a retirement album and its final piece of work, a 6, you got to give him that. It's a respectable end off for a legendary career for Kid Cudi. You got to give him that, even if you weren't the biggest fan of him.
Facts is a good album to end his career on. So now we got Kodak Black. However, he's announcing his new album, Cutthroat Bill, Volume 1. He just dropped a single. It was produced by Metro Boomin. The single's called "I'm So Awesome." Although he never said it. I'm pretty sure he never said that phrase.
I didn't hear it.
Yeah, he didn't say that phrase once in the song, I believe.
Could be wrong. I don't remember it, though.
If we're basing it off the single, what do you guys think about this Kodak album? What's it going to be? What are we expecting?
Like before I listened to this single from Kodak, bro, like Kodak hadn't dropped like that many like maybe bad songs per se recently. You know what I mean? The other 2 singles that are on the album that they the article said they were on the album, Walk and Spin. You know, he dropped like a little 2-pack. It was 2 weeks ago. It was, And those two, they were a vibey little singles, and I was like, okay, like this is what I expect from Kodak. And then I heard this single. I saw the description. It said Metro Boomin produced it, and I said, "Oh, okay." I said, "Oh, hold on."
I listened to the song before, and I told him like, I don't know.
I said, "Hold up, Metro Boomin produced it. It's the single for the album. This has to be. This might change my life." And then I got there, and I was like, I was trying to hype it up. I was listening to it, and I was like, it was sounding bad, but I was still trying to like act like it was good. I was like, yeah.
During the song, like I literally said, the only fire thing about this is that Metro Boomin produced it. Like. That's it.
And then so I ain't gonna lie, this single, not his best work, maybe not the best song on. But I'm hoping, dissimilar to the Big 30 album, he dropped the best singles first. Some artists are not as good as picking the best songs out, and I don't know what made Kodak think this is the single.
I'm so awesome.
But
because he's awesome.
But when he drops the full album, maybe we'll be like, okay, he just dropped a bad single, and then the rest of the album's fire. That's what I would have to kind of expect, because it's not like Kodak has been dropping many bad songs.
But it's not the best, it's not the best thing.
You heard it, G.
The single that he dropped was like, this isn't Fill You With Joy.
And shit. Kodak.
Yeah, like, I think.
You know about him.
I always give the
you don't know him, but you know about him.
I do not personally.
but you know, he's one of the artists that you do know about in the music industry.
Of course.
It's Kodak, so no matter what, give them the benefit of the doubt. I will always expect at least a bare minimum a mid. Bare minimum has to be like.
Bare minimum does have to be mid. It can't be worse than
exactly.
Mid. It can't be worse.
I can agree.
Mid. But from like being like maybe upper echelon, like maybe a 7 or an 8, I would bet like it's not gonna be an 8. It's for sure not gonna be an 8. Like he's probably gonna shoot it for the high, like a good 7.
I'm thinking 7. I'm thinking it might be a 7 or a 6, because I think there will be a couple of songs on there that will be fire, like extremely fire. However, I believe like similar to Big 30, like most of the other songs will be kind of mid.
And if you know one thing about Kodak, he's guaranteed one banger per album.
Yeah,
he's guaranteed a hit per pretty much every album.
Yeah,
and the rest of the album, look, it might not be up to par with that hit, but Kodak's gonna come through with one hit, radio hit,
one solid.
And we don't know. He might come through with a little bit more than that.
He might.
But this is one of them things. It's kind of similar to Big 30. How is it gonna be as a cohesive project? I don't know, but I'm sure that there's probably gonna be. Let's just say he drops 15 songs on this album. I would have to imagine, man, it's probably gonna be 5 bangers for sure. Where I'm gonna be like, bruh, Kodak. Then he snapped on these, bro. Like, this is what I expect from Kodak. And then there's probably going to be some filler in there where it's like maybe he was experimenting. Maybe he just dropped it because his homeboy was on it and he's trying to help him out, get him a bag or whatever. I don't know.
Maybe personally for me, I'm expecting less, maybe like three bangers, just because he's not at the peak of his career where he was. And I'm not saying he's on a downfall.
Yeah.
No, I'm not saying that. But he's not where he was at.
But I would say, given what both of y'all have said about the album so far, I was a little bit surprised to hear both of y'all saying y'all expect it to be a 7. When it does fully drop.
I think the height is a 7. I'm saying that the best it can be is a 7.
To what? Okay, yeah, okay. So I interpret it wrong.
I would shoot for like the mid. I think it's 6. That's like if you were to ask me, what do you think it's gonna be?
Yeah, exactly. That's what I wanted to ask.
Yeah,
so you're saying it's gonna be a 6. What do you think it will be?
A 6.
A 6?
I want to say a 7 because there could be a feature on there that I don't know about or whatever the case may be. But
based on the information we know now,
yeah,
and what we can think,
and from what the single,
and this is coming from, and 6. It's gonna be tough. My first initial thought was after this I expected to be a 5. After that was my first. That was my first initial thought.
That's my minimum.
You know what I mean? And I agree with the point you made though, kind of based on hearing this single. I don't think it gives you any hope for it's like, okay, well this still has possibilities of being a 9, a 10. No, it's not even close.
With a good single, like if he chose, this is the best song from it, it could still be even one of the Big 30. The best thing he dropped was a single, but then it was like a lot of like more mid songs, and it still came out to a mid album. So it's really way too early to say, but like we're just gonna be like. We're going to play it safe. We're going to be 6, 5, 6 or 5s. It's going to be a good mid album.
I would have to agree with that. You know what I mean? 6.5 range or whatever.
If it's better, then shit, that's great.
It's just not expected.
But it's just like, we're kind of expecting a mid.
And then, but it's one of them things. Not all of the features have been announced or the
That's
track list
what
or
I'm
anything like that.
saying.
And let's just be honest here. He drops that feature list, and we see featuring Drake, featuring Lil Uzi, featuring some guys that we don't. You know what I mean? We get some crazy features on there. Okay.
And Kodak has had some crazy features over the years.
And Kodak,
Kodak out of his genre.
Kodak can get pretty much anybody,
Kodak
and he can get anybody in the rap game. And if he wanted to go outside of that, he could probably get some of those people too. And when you have that opportunity, you never want to count him out because you know what could be on this track list. You know what I mean? Is it actually going to be on this track list? I don't know.
That's why I'm saying based off what we know now, 6.
Yeah, based on everything, 5-6 range. I would have to agree with that.
Yeah.
So let's get into the last topic of the day. We have Pharrell selling pretty much all of his iconic pieces, whether it's jewelry or his gold. Now,
did he say why he's selling it all?
Yeah, did he say? Is it for charity or he's just getting rid?
I think it was just like for the. It looked like I didn't see where he necessarily specifically said why, but it's looking like it's just like for the culture type of thing.
Well, and that's one thing.
I think it's smart business.
And it's smart business in terms of he's going to get a lot of money. But we're talking about Pharrell in the 2000s kind of time. This is a cultural icon. We're talking about so many of these pieces they're not only eye catching, but they're ones that you recognize because of him. You know what I mean? And it's not. I'm not saying like he fell off or whatever, but like he's not obviously the figure that he probably once was in the game in general. Obviously, because he's older and he's regressed and he's taken take a step out of the
laid back role.
Exactly, but like you see these pieces, you know what I mean? And when you first showed me this, I was like, wow, because like the pieces that this guy has, what he's involved in. He's been involved with Bape since the very beginning, so he's been involved with the Bapes that he's worn the most iconic pieces, jewelry and fashion. Cultural things that changed hip-hop and the culture forever. And to see some of these pieces hit the open market, I know that the price is going to be
the prices are not
exorbitant.
Released of any of these things yet?
It's like an open auction.
Open auction.
So it's
open auction, exactly.
So it's like, bruh, some of the I saw some of the Bapes that's going on and going on sale and all of that, and I just know that these are rare. These are highly sought after exclusives.
One of these sneakers could definitely go over $10,000. They definitely will. Most of them probably will.
Oh yeah.
The first one I'm looking at here, bro. I wonder how much is someone about to pay for a gold Blackberry?
It's a and then obviously you're not using that, but it's a collector's item.
I
wonder how much that'd go for. How much do you think they go for?
Well, there's a few things that you got to take into account outside of the fact it's a gold Blackberry. It's Pharrell's gold Blackberry. And
it's not just a gold.
And I don't know if he had some iconic moments with the BlackBerry. Maybe he has some iconic photos, holding the BlackBerry
at the
time.
Pictures on it?
And if he does, that obviously helps increase that price too, because like wow, he made this song with this person and he was using this BlackBerry and here's a photo of it. That price is going up like $5,000. You know what I'm saying? So I think the prices of these, especially given the Pharrell and the cultural impact, it's you gotta almost overthink the price to a certain extent. So if you think a gold BlackBerry is gonna go like 2,000, no, it ain't going 2,000. I'm saying that this should probably might go up to 5,000-10,000.
I'm thinking like 4 or 5. It's a BlackBerry at the end of the day, though.
It's a BlackBerry.
At the end of the day, like it is a BlackBerry.
Make that shit an iPhone. Bro.
I understand though the cultural significance that it plays.
It just depends on how you got to really think about how much is a collector that is willing to pay for it. And I don't think they'll be maybe necessarily willing to go above 10, but like someone might be like, hey, 10,000, I need this. You know what I'm saying?
I need this.
So one person, I don't know. If I had to say like a max of 10,000, you know what I'm saying? And 5 to 10 range is pretty fair for that.
Of course.
And then, but another piece that he's selling off is the iconic nerd pendant and the chain that kind of goes with it. And this is it's just it was looking fire. It's an iconic piece, and this is a piece that I think it's going for more than the gold BlackBerry. Obviously,
his most famous jewelry piece.
Yeah,
I mean,
one of the most famous jewelry pieces cement in the rap game.
Exactly. I mean, it's hard to even put a price on how much you think this could go for.
The only other chain that I could think is better is Takeoff's astronaut chain. Or not astronaut, but is a galaxy chain. Uh-huh. And that costs over 500,000. So, and I can imagine this is in a similar price range. So,
and given the like how long, like how like it's like this is something that you can't get.
Exactly.
And it's like you can you could go to another jeweler, you can hit up Johnny Dang and be like, yo, I want to get this exact piece, but it ain't Pharrell's piece. This is literally Pharrell's taken from his closet. You put it on your. He's easily. I don't know if he's not taking it off his neck and putting it on yours, but it's similar. Like he's worn this. He probably did this. Like did so many iconic moments, whether it's creating an iconic shoe or something like that, or creating an iconic song with this chain on,
or maybe performing at one of his most iconic shows.
Exactly. So I think, like I said, similar to the Blackbird, you got to take all of that into account of the price. So if the chain itself was just going to be $500,000 or whatever, this could be.
This
crazy.
could be estimated over $1 million.
Maybe $750,000 to $1 million. I would say. It sounds crazy to say for a chain or independent, but like, I just don't know, man. I feel like the prices for some of this stuff is just going to be astronomical. It's crazy. I'm super interested to see exactly how it goes. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
An interesting thing that you were saying earlier, though, with the Bape and he's selling his sneakers, his Bape sneakers, man, and those were looking fire. I showed you those, man. Those were looking fire.
If I was him, I wouldn't be getting rid of those.
Yeah,
if I was him, I would not be getting rid of those, man. That's just something, man, like, it's Pharrell, so I guess, like, he could always get another pair, per se, I guess, like. He could hit up some people, but like, bruh, that's irreplaceable to a certain extent. I know he just said he might be able to, but he might be able to replace it. Maybe. It's irreplaceable, and you still got more to go. I would want to have that in my collection till the day I die, almost. You know what I'm saying? Oh, is this the article?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, so he's cleaning out 11 storage units and he's auctioning off his stuff. Imagine just having some of these crazy pieces in your storage unit.
I'm trying to see where it said why specifically.
A beginning of a new era and setting myself free.
That feels like something he'd say. Just be like, fuck this shit.
And that's what I'm saying. I think it was more like a cultural thing. He was doing it for the culture to get these items out into the world because they need it.
I don't think it's like he's broke or some shit. I think it just shows like that. It's kind of like it's material items.
Wait, go back up.
Yeah.
Hey, at this point, you have 11 different storage units. He's probably just like, oh, yeah, you got to go through it.
You just got to get rid of all this shit. I got no more room.
He explains the energy held by cultural artifacts or whatever, and as they're collected and passed from person to person.
Exactly.
So he wants to get these pieces out into the world. You know.
Exactly.
And I can respect the hell. I can respect the hell out of that.
I feel
for somebody as iconic to the culture as Pharrell, I can respect the hell out of him for him wanting to get his pieces out there.
I feel like he thinks there's other people in the world that would appreciate this stuff more than he does. So he'd be like, oh, then fuck, I'll give it to somebody that does want it more than I do.
And I think it is kind of unfortunate to a certain extent that obviously there's a lot of people that I think everyone that kind of knows the culture or whatever would want these items or whatever. Obviously, there's a very finite amount of people that can actually afford it.
Of course.
There's probably a very finite amount of people that can even go to this auction in the first place. You know what I mean? So it's not like me and you could just walk up there. Even though we wouldn't have the bread to probably afford anything in this room, we couldn't just walk in and be like, yo, man, we like Pharrell, we like these cultural items, we want to get in on it. It's probably going to be, I don't know, people he selected to a certain extent, or he's not just going to let his iconic pieces go to just some random.
Of course.
I'm sure he wants it to go to somebody who's going to take care of it or make sure it's being used in the right way. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Not just somebody who's going to just...
As a cultural artifact.
Exactly. And somebody who's going to appreciate it for what it is and not just...
Wear it every single day.
Wear it, bro.
And overuse it.
Exactly. Or just disrespect it and, get it dirty or break it or lose it. You know what I mean? You want to make sure it's going to somebody who's going to cherish it and respect it for what it is because... I know Pharrell has him locked up in a storage unit, but at least at that, if it's there, he knows they're safe. No one's doing nothing to it.
Damn, 11 storage units.
He sells this off to some random or whatever, man. It could end up in the fucking bottom of the Hudson River. You know what I mean? You never know.
So give it back to nature, bro.
But it is crazy though. To your point, 11 storage units full of iconic pieces, bro. Like how many iconic pieces does this guy have? Like it just goes to show how important he was to the culture at this time. You can't even imagine.
Because it seems like he was forgotten because he just hasn't been relevant within the past couple of years.
Maybe to our generation, but like it's just like people that we were around. People, if you were there, like how. And I'm not saying I was there. I'm just saying I've seen back. I can go back in history.
Yeah.
Say, in the early 2000s, man, it was Pharrell. He ran.
Yeah.
The shit. He ran the shit.
I remember.
You know what I mean? And he was part of the group that kind of discovered Kanye back in the day. You know what I mean? He was there. He was in the studio. Kanye showed him his early work in 2004 before he even dropped an album. You know what I mean? He was there. And you think about where we are now. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
How much has happened since then? And Pharrell was already cemented in the game 2004. It's 2020, about to be 2023. You know what I mean? So he's been around obviously a long time, and it's cool that he's doing this. I would just say it's very, 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 very cool.
Your thoughts? Anything you want to say about it, G?
No, I think everything that had to be said. I said what I think what it was. I think he's doing it for all the right reasons.
The right
He's
reasons.
not doing anything weird or not. It's just that.
That's one thing though that I like.
He wants to give it back.
Yeah,
Exactly.
that's one thing that I like. You said though, he's not doing it for the money. He's doing it for the culture.
Exactly.
Yeah, and he has 11 storage units. Like get the fuck out.
And when your business manager's telling you gotta
clean
thin it
this
down,
shit up,
hey,
man.
you know what I mean?
All right,
Yeah.
All right, fuck it. We'll sell it all then.
Yeah. And then he's probably realizing, oh wow, I'm about to get like $5 million.
Oh,
You know what I mean?
a good amount of money from all this.
He's gonna have a nice dinner after that auction, I can imagine.
Yeah.
Oof.
Y'all ready to wrap this one up?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we thank y'all for checking out this episode of the Shooter Straight Podcast. Like we mentioned at the beginning, check out the description, man. We've got all of our links to our social medias. You know, we got the Instagram, we got the Twitter, we got the Reddit, we got working on the Snapchat. We're working on pretty much every single social media. We got the link tree that has a link to all of our social medias down there as well. So we got all of our links in one nice dandy little place. You know, so you can follow us on all of our social media platforms. And like we said at the beginning of the video, if you're still here, hit that big red subscribe button if you have not already. Like we said, 50% of y'all have not subscribed to the channel. And, you know, what are you doing? You got to subscribe.
Got to.
And we appreciate the comments, and we want to continue the engagements with our fans.
Exactly. You know, like we had a certain point in the episode where we threw out a couple of ideas of some things we wanted to implement or whatever. Let us know in the comments what y'all think or whatever, and any suggestions for us. You know, we're always taking them into account, and we appreciate every single one of y'all who does comment.
Facts.
Absolutely.
Got any other things to say before we wrap this one up officially?
I think we're good, and I think we clocked in another. It's the longest one.
Is it?
I think it's 2:30. 2 hours
Yeah,
and 30.
Is it technically the longest one? Well,
Technically, the
One thing I
longest
wanted to
one.
say before wrapping it up,
Yeah.
it was good to have you on the pod again,
It's
G.
always
Show,
fun.
man.
It's always
exactly,
fun.
and we got many things planned coming very, very soon. So just like I said, subscribe so you won't want to miss what we got coming soon, because if y'all are liking the content now, we got some crazy things planned you're not going to want to miss. So hit that subscribe button.
That's right, bro.
But with all that being said, man, thank y'all for checking out this episode of the Shooter Straight Podcast, episode 21. We hope y'all enjoyed. I'm your co-host, Zach.
I'm your co-host, Blue.
I'm G.
And we'll see y'all next time for episode 22. Peace.
Peace. Continue to shoot it straight.